How it do, how it be, how it is, everybody. Welcome in and welcome back. So excited to kick off this cozy post-summer series Q&A. Very, very excited. I'm Sir Pfeffers, the primary dungeon master for the Longshot table, and it's just gonna be cozy vibes today. We've got a whole bunch of questions from the Discord, and we're gonna be going down the list and answering some of those. Cloudy Kate also wrote up really dope questions, and we're gonna take a crack at those as well. If you've got questions, you can head over to the Discord, and after accepting the rules and whatnot, you can go to the Cabin 6 channel and post whatever you like. Well, you know, within the rules. Goodness gracious, let's just get this party started. Let me go to the squad. Let me kick this off with Andy.
Okay. Hey everybody, it's me, Andy, the Boston kid with red hair that had a lot of trauma involving Mothman, but that got resolved, kind of. You can find me, the person, in most places on the internet under ValveMag010. Kiki zooming in her face.
I didn't mean to. I meant to zoom out. I'm kind of dumb.
You did. No, we don't tolerate that in this house.
You silly little guy.
I know, but don't disparage yourself. Anyway, yeah, you can find me at ValveMag010 on most socials. I'm mainly over on TikTok doing little goose and gags. And I was Patty O'Shaughnessy, Boston Cryptid Ranger.
Yeah.
And I'll pass it over to King Smiley.
Hey yo, what's up? It's me, King Smiley. Call me King, call me Smiley, call me King Smiley, call me whatever you want, so long as I like it. It is me, the guy who played Elijah or the Living Game Boy Advance. You know, if you ever seen Link go like take this, strangers go along, that'd be Elijah. And also, if your game glitched while playing Pokemon, that is me, because you had a better team and I didn't want that to happen. Now if you got a shiny, it's because I like you. But yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to answer the questions. Good to find answers about the things that haunted us.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'll say.
This is gonna be great. If anyone here would like to see the summer series itself, it's on the YouTube right now. I think the season finale just went up. I can double check that as well.
Went up this afternoon.
Yeah, so please head on over there. We're just as partnered over there as we are over here, and the ad revenue goes a long way towards the supporting of the group. I accidentally stole the pass. Who would you like to pass it to, Smiley?
James.
Hey folks, my name is James. I go by Hugger Mugger here on the internet, and I am one half of DualMastersGuide. I was one of the two DMs for this summer series that y'all are here for the Q&A for, and I had a lovely time doing it. But you can catch me all over the internet. I am currently working on getting my Twitch affiliate status, so I will be streaming tomorrow, actually, some Hunt with the lovely Kiki Does Stuff, and potentially Sir Pfeffers.
It's me.
So come and check us out tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel, and then also Kiki's channel, and also my channel. We'll be all over the place. And if you want to see more games that I am the DM for, not as Dual Masters Guide, but just as me, there will be a Regency game starting on Madaloon's channel on August 28th. So August 28th, that's a Thursday. Feel free to stop by, and I'll have the information on my link tree once it goes live. Kiki, introduce yourself, my love.
I'm Kiki. You can find me all over the internet. Kiki Does Stuff, Kiki Do Stuff right here on Twitch. On Thursday, I'll be over on Madaloon's channel for a charity stream that's in style of Game Changers rule spinning thing. So go ahead and check that out while I fist fight with Cole. Or you can check me out on Sundays right here on Longshot at Thistle and Quill, where I also fist fight with Cole. It's mutual, don't worry. And I have been the other half of Dual Masters Guide and the other half of the horrors that have haunted you this entire summer. This is gonna be fun. We have a Q&A going, so basically drop your questions into the Discord. You can drop them into the Twitch chat if you want, but Discord has priority, so go ahead and drop them into the Discord chat. Once they're read through and answered, we'll probably just react with like a little heart or something, so we have acknowledged it, and then we'll move on to the next question. We're also gonna be taking questions.
Inquiries.
yeah, we're also going to be taking questions from our fellow cast members and anything that they want to know. So maybe they have the same question as you, or maybe they just want to spin off of your question, or you want to spin off one of their questions. By all means, go ahead and do so. This is just kind of a free for all here.
Shall we?
Without further ado, take it away.
Hell yeah. So I'm looking
All
over here.
questions.
I got a question from DH Mets for the cast. Despite going through hell and back, some not making it back, what do you think your character's chances are in a total drama island situation? I haven't seen the show, so I can't say for certain, but if it's a bring me your torch or kicked off the island format, I kind of understand.
Yeah, it's like Survivor, but for children.
Okay.
It was Survivor on Cartoon Network with like
For
everything
animated
blown out of
characters,
proportions. Yeah.
That's a scenario that Jensen has to behave, and I don't know that much about Jensen because all of my character development has been in a survival fight or flight. I don't know. He's not really like I'm gonna get cozy with this person so that person would do well over there and all of this stuff. If anything,
It's time for activity.
Dior would crush that.
Jensen is surviving week 1 because everyone wants him to make their fires, and then the second they've got a steady fire, get him out of
Yeah.
No, for real.
He is a hazard to society.
Absolutely.
He is a danger. He is a pyromaniac. He loves lighting things on fire.
It would all depend, but Patty, I think Patty would do decently until the physical challenges, like the jumping off a cliff, having to speedboat through a swamp. He's not going to do well with that. But as soon as there's a puzzle, he can go, oh, look at this. Boop, bop, beep, bop, beep. Here you go. His brain would be the most valuable thing about him in that competition. So I think he'd make it to week 4 before he got booted off mercilessly.
What about our boy Elijah?
Now, it's a gamble, because the thing is, I have said that Elijah's good with their hands, good with doing this kind of stuff. So it's yeah, some of the challenges are physical and stuff like that. They can do that kind of stuff because his dad taught him carpentry and stuff like that. But at the same time, Elijah just wouldn't care. Elijah's there for the money, but it's if it's specifically from the show, like Total Jar Island, the characters would always be gosh. So imagine Elijah there would just be I don't have technology to do my things.
Right. I feel the same way in that my job is to burn it all to the ground. So,
Exactly.
DMs, what was your favorite NPC to portray and why?
Do the monsters count?
Sure.
Yeah, do they count? Because I love the monsters.
Sure.
Mine is Joey. I can't help that. I love
That is a
Joey.
monster.
Joey was well
So
done.
he is a monster. But I love him so
Horrible.
much because he started out, we knew that he was cult from the beginning. He was always cult. The problem is in the first episode, you all decided he also had divorced parent and he was asthmatic. And suddenly he was more than just a cult member. He was important to
He
me.
was a person.
He was
He
perfect.
was a fairy.
Because you guys did the best thing for a DM that you can do, which is you decided an NPC had flaws and therefore you liked him. And I went, oh, perfect. And Kiki went, oh, perfect. And then when you guys started sticking your grippy claws on him to be Joey, we can trust Joey, not Baron. Baron's sus. We can trust Joey though.
We
were
waffled back and forth with Baron.
Yeah, you waffled
Very
for a
fun.
little bit, but you guys doubled down, and we went on break once, and I remember Kiki and I messaging each other do we just double down on this and we give them reasons to just trust Baron and reasons to trust Joey? And we went yes, and we doubled down on it. And you guys followed the rabbit hole. It was lovely.
I found that hilarious because of the fact that I have talked to you both about that. I was no, I was always sus about Joey.
You
in
were.
the sense
You
that, but my character Elijah would just be I'm not gonna voice anything like this out. Everyone seems to be Joey, we can trust, and Elijah was just all right.
It's just because Dior thought he was hot.
Sorry.
No,
go ahead.
literally.
Literally. Sorry, Beth, you were saying?
No, I interrupted Smiley.
I was just gonna say it was hilarious because everyone was so trusting Joey and stuff like that for God knows what, and I was just like, no, this is weird as hell. You are at a camp that is not good at all. You're just like, I like this place.
I fell for my own dirty trick, and you portrayed Joey as just in over his head. And that made me just be like, okay, he's in over his head. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Head. He messed up his
Right.
biggest job.
Right.
And Tabitha ate the fucking sandwich.
Yeah.
So the whole game, he was trying to fix his mistake somehow and prove
That's
himself to the rest
right.
of the cult.
Fuck. I see Bill and Metz are typing furtively. in chat to
Furiously,
say a
furiously.
couple of new
Kiki,
questions.
I want to hear what your favorite NPC was.
Yeah.
Was it a monster? Was it a person?
I did have a lot of fun playing any of the monsters because seeing your guys' reactions to just their descriptions was really fun. And I'm like, oh, good, we're doing a good job. All right, keep it going. But I think my favorite character to play was Marjorie, the nurse,
Oh.
the night nurse.
that was wild.
I hated that.
That was just
Fun
we were
fact
just
about
baffled.
Marjorie: she was impromptu character.
Ah.
He was never there in the original.
So why did you need to remove the other nurse?
She could have been trusted, and we don't want that.
She could have been trusted. Okay.
So
but
you
she
all
was a part
started-
of the cult, or no?
So Marjorie
original
was a
nurse
part
was
of the.
not.
The original nurse was not. Marjorie was, because when you guys decided to find an authority
Gotcha.
figure, you went to the one person in camp that actually wasn't cult, besides Miss Crystal.
Gotcha.
So-
So funny.
We were like, oh shit, get rid of her.
That's brilliant.
Well, the other nurse.
You can't
Awesome.
have one nurse on for the entire
Yeah.
day. Like shifts exist, so
Yeah.
there's a secondary nurse that only works at night for that specific reason. She's kind of kooky.
Mhm,
She
mhm.
may or may not be time travel. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, we didn't want a
Oh.
nurse who would actually solve your problems.
That's fair.
We gonna just waltz right by that.
Don't worry about it.
Which part?
Well, I'd like to submit my first official question.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Time travel. Now, speak on that.
So
Time travel.
when
Now
describing
you talk.
when describing Marjorie, I did mention that she was giving very much a World War II aesthetic, like Red Cross Association World War
What?
II
Pencil
aesthetic.
skirt, yeah.
It's because
What?
she's from there.
What?
She's just kind of never mentally left the time. She's been jumping
Oh.
bodies,
What
but
the
for the most
fuck?
part, she's just kind of like that forever.
Oh.
It's gonna be explained in book 2.
Oh, it's traumatized.
That'll be season 2,
Oh,
mandatory camp.
it's traumatized.
James,
Oh.
how? Feel free to not answer this. This is a real world question. Are you comfortable with real world
Yeah,
questions?
absolutely.
How long have you worked as a mortician?
13 years.
Wow, I did not know. That.
I'm 31 and I have been in the funeral industry since I was 18. So
Okay.
a long time.
That question was by fucking Lena.
Yeah.
James, how much of your experience in being a mortician did you put in the campaign?
My experience as a mortician is in every campaign I have ever run. Because it's not one of those things where it's like a gripe I have with other DMs, because it's just a lot of people in the world don't know what death looks like, don't know what it sounds like, don't know what it smells like,
Sure.
they don't have the they just don't have the experience, and that's
Yeah.
fine. But when it's something that I can bring into a game to make it a little more real, as long as my players are comfortable with it, which is why we have specific questions on our consent sheets regarding very specific items to do with body horror and things like that. Kiki gives me the opportunity to bring it in, and I really like to, because
Nice.
when you've got a special interest and it's your day job, you also want to bring it into your special interest night job.
Nice.
Also,
It
not
pays
really a
dividends,
special
it's
interest. You could
awesome.
just talk to people, you know?
Yeah, I have to
It's
have an audience who's willing to hear about it. I can't just bring it up at dinner.
Although most people do ask him questions, we'll have a holiday dinner or something, and a lot of people will ask him questions about mortician-based things, and they'll just sit there enamored for an hour and a half as he tells them about death.
And I love
was the
answering
couple of
them.
times that you've told me just the stuff you've had to do to put a person back together. I was just like, what?
It takes a lot.
Okay. Where to go? I had a really good one. I saw
Hate
a
it.
really good one.
Sorry.
This is from former Future Frog.
Hey, Frog.
Players, how is character creation for a system where you only have one special skill? Did the freedom from powers, quote unquote, help with making them, or did it give you too big of a playground?
I'd like to know this.
So, for me, I knew that whatever I picked, the DMs, the dual masters, would be able to cultivate and present a world with which my specific mechanic would thrive and work within and stuff like that. So it's a matter of it wasn't limiting to me. It was, I get to pick a cool thing. Let's see them cook with it, if that makes sense. And I went with fire. I thought of holes from sorry. I thought of, just real quick, I thought of holes from Twitch. Yeah, the whole Twitch from Holes. That was like, just like, that's a nice car. That's a really nice car you got there. You know, and I was like, yeah, but with arson.
Good.
Yeah.
Elijah. Sorry, one of you, take it. I'm looking at both of you. Rock, paper, scissors, go!
For me, it was kind of easy because once that was like presented to like, you only get one special skill, I was like, cool, I'm not after a special skill. I was like, I want to play this kind of character. I want to play a character that is nerdy, who's good at technology, who's good at just deconstructing and putting things back together. Someone who can build. That is what I want. And then they kind of was like, so this would be your thing. And I was like, basically, yeah. It was easy because for me, once I was presented that, it was just like, oh, cool. I just pick the character's personality and their actual life would be their thing. It was so easy.
Jeez, what is the structure of a cult?
Don't worry about that.
I'm just lining up
question.
to your questions because I'll have to dip out in a
I want to
second.
visit that later.
Yeah.
But in terms of character building, it was kind of a little bit of what both Fef and Smiley were saying. Like, I got to like build a character that I really wanted to like see interact with, because I had no idea what everybody else's character was going to be like. I just wanted a kid who was like, really like nerdy, didn't really fit in very well. And I had a feeling we were going to get a lot of outcasts in this group, and I just wanted mine to stick out. And so I was like, oh, let's give him a super niche interest. And the backstory of his dad being a cop actually played way more into the actual narrative of his special ability and the narrative of the campaign as a whole, way more than I initially thought it would, which was really cool to see. Yeah, it was kind of just like building what's the kind of personality that I think would be cool to interact with other characters, and I kind of built it up from there. And Kiki and James, they just like took that and took his little heart and they just wrenched it. They just wrenched it a whole bunch. But it was amazing.
Andy literally like gave us like a Google Doc with like 3 pages of lore on it, and it was like, here's my family, here's the family I don't like, here's my mom's name, here's my grandpa's name. And we're like, oh, you want us to hurt you? Okay.
Yeah. Andy and Kate gave us perfect little Google Docs full of so much information, and we went, excellent. And then Hannah gave us like a perfect Pinterest board and everything with vibes, and we were like, we get you.
Lord,
and
you said.
we had an entire call with Faye to make sure that we knew what Tabitha's whole deal was. And then Smiley and Fef were fantastic because they were mostly like, this is their core concept.
Yeah.
Go with it. We were like, okay.
Yeah, it was. I messaged the DMs before this being like, I would like it so that that my kid had to come with a note from the judge that said, no, you do have to like search and frisk this dude at regular intervals because he will continue to try to start fires.
So we did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 1, baby. I need to go through your pockets.
Here's a good
I
question.
didn't even really have a backstory for Elijah until you guys started asking me questions.
Yeah, because I wanted to know how to hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, I was like, I should really give them something. But at the same time, nothing was popping in my mind. Because unfortunately, I'm horrible at making backstories for any of my characters. until someone asks me a question like this, and this, and I'm like, oh, no problem. Here's this, here's this, here's this. It's already in there. I just can't pull it out until someone
That's
asks me a
such a
question.
big mood. It's such a big mood. Like, I can make a backstory in my head, but writing it down is where I start having issues because I get very picky with writing.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. Of course, it didn't come up with me and stuff like that because I died relatively early. But the thing is, for people who don't know, Elijah's parents were divorced, and Elijah completely blamed himself for that. Because when you have a kid like Elijah who consistently takes things apart, puts them together, gets in trouble a lot, and then your parents divorce, it's kind of hard not to blame yourself.
Did I pull them apart? Like I pulled apart everything else in my life?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially when
we
you're
absolutely,
young.
we wanted to get so much more into people's backstories, but it just ended up being that everyone's so good at roleplay. It was like, well, we just have to let this go now. Personality is more important than backstory when the roleplay is going.
Yeah.
That makes good sense. From Jace, what is the structure of the cult? What are the inner workings?
It's a pyramid scheme.
No. Here's the thing: if you get 3 lives, you get 1 free.
Yeah. If I can get like 6 other people, I get to live about another 6 generations.
Yeah. The general shape of the cult is a triangle. So you've got the Endless as an entity didn't start the cult. The cult started around the existence of the Endless.
Okay.
And that started with Director Brunton. She is so much older than she appears, or appeared, you know.
May she rest in peace.
May she rest in peace.
Pieces, prefer.
At least 3 pieces. And then, honestly, Kiki, it's just like, after that, it's just the people she trusts the most get to, like, live long enough to keep assisting her. Cookie was one of her right-hand people, which he has been brought back so many times that he now had monstrous, like, features and whatnot. Joey now has monstrous features because they were both brought back wrong. Basically, if you can't do the right sacrifice to bring someone back who has died, they end up monstrous because the Endless can only seed so much humanity to them. So unless you make the right human sacrifice, like they were trying to sacrifice Baron in the end room to bring Joey back, then they shortcutted and just used the snakes, so he came back with snake features. You know, when they tried to bring Cookie back last time, they didn't have a human sacrifice. Spiders, and that was about it.
Jace wants to know how old Director Brenton is.
You know that better than I do. You did the calculation, right?
Yeah, she's been at this for a long time, easily 100 years.
Yeah,
the camp has not always been there, but she's been part of that cult for 100, 120 years. That camp's been there for about 80.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's Brunton at the top, and then her enforcers, which are her daughter, because she birthed her, so she can tell her anything she wants, basically, and she'll do it. Mr. Matthew Hall, Coach Hall, who got married to her daughter, and we'll circle back around to that because there's questions that involve him in backstory also that we'll get to over here. And then Miss Beth. Those were like the top 3. Like if you go like top 1 person, then top 3 people who are enforcers, because she's got her main security, her main muscle, and her main supplicant, which is her daughter. And then below that is the other cult members who just trust what they've been told from upward. And Joey was like not at the very bottom rung, but like 1 up. And if he had proved himself, he would have then been moved into that like upper echelon with Coach Hall and everything like that.
Okay. He was trying to like break through.
Yeah, he was trying to break through the ranks.
He was trying to maybe cozy up to the woman who lives forever in a nice new body that he didn't have a problem with.
Well, like, cause one of the it's extremely gross. But one of the benefits of if you're able to assist with the sacrificing of a body, so the transfer into a new body, especially for the Herald, you then become that Herald's right hand. Like you become their spouse.
Okay.
For however long it is.
From Nordic, Dual Masters, what part of the story did the players miss that you wish they didn't?
I wanted you guys to go into admin so bad!
And I think pairing with this, real quick, is another question. Did the campaign ever take a hard turn in any direction, or did everything stay mostly on the rails?
What rails?
Yeah, what rails?
But in the concept of
Yeah,
what
no,
you
I know.
thought
Yeah.
might happen.
We were building weekly. Like, we had an overarching idea of what was going to happen and what things were where in the camp, but we did not have an overarching idea of what had to happen every episode. That was built like day before. Kiki and I always had a long session of like talking about what to do in the next session the night before, basically. And that's because we procrastinate, and also because we wanted to make sure we were up to date on what was going on in the campaign to make those decisions.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it ever went off the rails. A lot of the time, the train got slowed down, and that was about it. It was like suddenly
You definitely went routes we weren't expecting in some cases, but like we're like, oh no, fuck it, let's go for it.
Nice.
Yeah. And then in terms of things you missed that I wish you hadn't, it's very silly. And this is the thing I said before cameras were live, where I wanted to bring this up. No one fucking realized that kelp doesn't belong in a freshwater environment.
I actually said that the first time we saw the lake. I don't remember when I said it, but I just remember being like, but it's not clay.
I
It's
continued
brackish.
to
Where's the
mention
horseshoe
it multiple
crabs?
times. It is brackish water.
Mhm.
It is a lake. Kelp needs at least 60 feet in order to grow, and it has to be salt water. So the fact that kelp's in a freshwater environment is already wrong.
Oh, that's so
but I'm
funny.
also I was almost a marine biologist.
I
so
might
my
have
brain
not
just
said
went,
it, but there was definitely a moment where I was like, hang on. Maybe it's because I didn't want to seem like picking apart the narrative, or you know what I mean? Or
pick it apart.
But
It's
it was
wrong.
so I grew up next to this brackish river, and it was this clay bed, and there were horseshoe crabs and stuff like that. And so I was going with what I knew and just being like, why is there like the biome seems slightly off to what I'm trying to like come to terms with in my head. But I thought I was just being like, okay, well, I've only got this one memory to work off of, and I'm not thinking of like biomes in general. And I just kind of was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
You gotta question
definitely.
our reality.
Yeah.
Then the other thing was I really, really wanted you guys to go into admin at some point, and we had plans to get at least one of you in admin. But then the weeks got shifted, and we had to switch which players were missing, and things didn't work out in the way we wanted. But there was so much going on in admin in terms of you would see the pictures of all the camp counselors and Director Brunton staying the same throughout all of them. You would see these hidden binders of all these missing children and people that have been deceased and cause of death just swept under the rug. There's a binder of police reports and it's fucking empty.
You would have seen one of our Easter eggs to our pre-game campaign, which we did a test campaign with friends IRL near us in order to test the game and the setting and things like that before we ever ran the summer series. And one of our players, several of the players from that game escaped. So there is a history where kids escape this camp, and they do survive despite the horrors. One of the older siblings who came to rescue their younger sibling from camp then spent a lifetime putting lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit against this camp to try and get things to come to light from what they, because their brain is all scrambled. They can't remember what exactly happened, but they know it wasn't right. And so it's just lawsuit after lawsuit. And this guy is now 60 years old?
Dang.
And he is desperately still trying. So he's probably celebrating the fact that you guys got this camp shut the fuck down.
Amazing. Amazing.
That's perfect. That's amazing.
Smiley, this is from Jace.
Yeah.
How long did you think initially Elijah was gonna stay alive for?
Gonna be honest with how good I was pulling cards, I thought Elijah was gonna make it towards the end. I was just pulling. I was putting number after number after number, an occasional face card, and most of the face cards I got were maybe 2 jacks, 3 jacks. And so I remember them. It was the first jack I got, jack, which was injury, was me pushing open the door, me examining a cassette player, and then the Bigfoot. Those were the 3 jacks I pulled. And I think I pulled maybe 1 or 2 queens. So honestly, I was wow, well, Ash is gonna make this to the end, but
Welcome.
then personal things happen, and I
Hmm.
obviously, which was funny because the thing is, it was an elected thing for me to be like, how do you want to go? And I was like, just coming.
This one's intriguing for me, and it's a good transition. Speaking of the face cards, from Bill to the Duel Masters, which face card got you both the most excited to resolve? The Jack, Queen, King.
Ooh.
My favorite is the Queen.
Okay, why?
And it got pulled like the least because it's a mental effect, and there's so much more we could have done to fuck with you.
Yeah. I think my least favorite was the Jack, because a physical injury is hard in the moment to give you without it being kind of superficial a lot of the time.
Hmm.
Because
I
most
wanted
of
to
the
break your
time,
arms.
you guys were, Kiki really wanted like broken arms and things like that, but we weren't in situations a lot of the time where it fit. And there were a lot of scenes where we didn't want the whole scene to stop because someone got very badly injured.
Yeah.
And then we knew that you guys would like huddle up and try and fix that person. We're like, we actually have to keep it moving. So what do we do about
And then
that?
sometimes you pull a Jack and someone gets scalped. Like, you know.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes the cards are in our favor. My favorite was, however, the King, because I really liked bringing in a secondary problem for you guys. It ended up being a great way to bring in our monsters. It ended up being a great way to bring in the counselors in situations where you guys were trying to do something that could, like, not overthrow the plot, but at the very least, like, jump you ahead a little too fast. So it ended up being a good card.
Nice. Okay. I wanted to do a quick break from the questions to peruse the quote wall.
So good, dude.
Do it.
Notably, my favorite one here, as I'm just getting to it and looking through it. Quote: "Sounds I will not try to notate here from Valve Max. The Bigfoot yell. Jensen doesn't need to be turned into a lasso." I don't remember what that one's from, but that's terrifying. Was it when I was getting like dragged?
Probably.
So,
From Kate, "The dead things do scream a lot." There's oh god.
So much.
Yeah, they're in the syrup. And they're gonna eat us. All just one word. Just one word, they're gonna eat us.
That was such a good voice line from you.
Oh my god.
They're gonna eat us.
They're gonna eat us.
Blood is very
Very
itchy,
you.
from Kiki.
Yeah, it was. It was itchy.
That horrible
Hang on.
two-faced bitch, Joey. Hey, Baron, they're out here eating the kids.
Odd, like, small, like, tangent, really quick, but while we're going off of quotes, there are some times when me and James would snap a quote from, like, stream, and then we'd hold it in our back pocket because that person was right, and they
Yeah.
didn't know it yet. So real quick, shout out to Bookworm Zip, who said Mothman took him when referring to Patty. Absolutely, they did.
that's
Yeah.
Steph. Steph
They
was like
absolutely did.
locked in
Yeah.
with the Mothman
Mhm.
thing. Like she knew from second one that Mothman
It
was
was
gonna play
locked.
some huge part before they even got introduced.
Mhm.
And like she kept making jokes about how, hey, can I just come over in my Mothman like
Mhm.
onesie and just lurk in the background of your stream? And I'm like, no, honey, you can't do that.
I think it would have been so funny.
It would have been pretty funny.
Literally have a
Mothman's
child
behind
to
you.
put to bed.
But Mothman's behind you.
I got this one from Kate, quoted by Jace. "You hanged a pathetic, pretty skinny boy in front of me and didn't expect me to fold."
Oh, I absolutely did, and it was helpful.
Go take a human moment, from James.
Well, that was to make sure everybody went to the bathroom because we had really fucked with you right before.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And that's the glory of the quote wall, is that they're all super out of context.
Love it.
I have several. I have like snapped photos of like the Zoom chats too, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
remember the context for this, but Andy went ponder the sausage, and then Beth went ponder the pork, watch the wiener, and then keep visage on the wiener schnitzel, and then Andy followed up with behold the bratwurst.
It was pancake. It was the morning of pancake day.
It had
and
to
they,
be. It was
they,
so
they were
funny.
Sausage
trying
with it,
to
right?
tell if the sausage was human.
Oh my god.
Which most of the
Pondered.
time, I will go off on this tangent. Most of the time, the camp was not feeding the kids.
No.
Okay.
The cultists had a taste for human flesh because of the ritual and everything involved in it. They continuously like craved it, and so that's why they had special counselor lunches because they would have lunch.
Long
But they
take.
weren't wasting that on the kids.
Yeah.
The syrup
Okay.
is just actually this is a question for Kate from Kate. Why the fuck were they putting the kids in the trees for? We never followed that thread. It's just fucky.
I thought it was specifically for the syrup.
It does make the syrup, and it is a syrup that they can utilize to like keep their like craving down. The syrup that was out for the kids, I don't know if we ever decided if it was or wasn't like the blood syrup. It could be. They just might have
The
had a
maple
surplus of
syrup
it.
was.
Yeah, the birch syrup.
Eerily
was. The
similar
birch syrup.
color.
Yeah,
that's
the
all
birch
I'm saying.
syrup.
Yeah.
The birch syrup was, and part of the reason that they would put kids in the trees and stuff is one, they figured out that that was a thing that they could do, and it got rid of troublesome children who were being like either annoying or just being too much of a handful, and that no one would miss.
Terrifying.
And also, if they got rid of them like that, they could just say, if anyone asks questions, oh, they ran away. No one's going to look up in a forest.
Yeah.
Haunting.
Oh, this is a fun one. This is from Nordic. What was y'all's internal reactions to Nordic saving theft from the Joker?
God, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? It's the only person who didn't get a single fucking Joker the whole game.
I said, yeah!
I thought I was gonna get. I usually go into any summer series assuming I'm gonna get dunked on hard, because I'm usually the DM. Usually I'm inflicting the
You
pain.
weren't our DM yet.
Yeah. True. Very
Yeah,
true.
check back next summer series when you've had Kiki on your table for a year.
Oh my gosh. Let's go over to some of the questions from Kate. Kate sat down, Cloudy Kate, and wrote out a bunch of really cool, really like in-depth questions.
Index.
Yeah, it's really good.
I've got all of them in the side chat for Fef. That way he doesn't have to ask us for them.
I think the first one isn't much of a question, but it's an inquiry. From Kate, I don't think we ever actually confirmed what the Endless was. My guess is that's intentional. Like kind of that eldritch, unknowable, primordial energy, but maybe that's not the case.
Yeah, I kind of want to know what all of you think that the Endless is. And then me and James will go into it.
Yeah.
You want us?
Yeah. I want you to describe what you think it is.
You got the vibe in the episode. What would you consider the Endless at this moment?
At this moment, I'd call it an eldritch entity, and I'm not completely sure if the deer head creature was also the Endless.
I would say no,
Okay.
because it reverted to like a normal boy form when we freed everybody. Like Riley turns back into Riley, and then I think that creature was actually the last one to head out, and they just like turned into like a small dark-haired kid.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they were probably also some victim of the past that through time was able to amass his power to try and protect some of the campers, which I like that. That's horrifying. Doesn't help that I'm scared of it. Literally Curtis Danko.
What do you think, Smiley?
With the Endless itself, I feel like it is a primordial entity that existed since like almost the dawn of time, and its whole thing is like it just keeps going and going and going and going. It reaches to all points of space and time, and it kind of manifests its way into the world, specifically to the people who have the point of great greed. Like they're always wanted more. Like in the sense of like some people may want more life, some more people might want more power, more, something like that, to the point that they will like herald this thing and be willingly give it sacrifices. And I only say greed mainly because like the whole life, and then you see Dior's parents who are apparently completely a part of this, maybe based off of that one dream, who are just yeah, we want to be rich. And we're talking about rich.
Bank.
Like no. We don't own the banks. We made them.
Guard the bank.
Stuff like that. That's what I think the endless is. It's just, and it simply exists, yes, because it's like sacrifices and sure, like that feeds it, sure, but like its real thing was the fact that there's an endless feeling in the universe of what people or entities really want.
So you're all right and you're all wrong at the same time, but
Okay.
like you have the idea in your head. So part of the thing with working with eldritch creatures and like eldritch beings is there is no proper way to describe them. Because the entire point is they're beyond your comprehension.
Kind of
but-
Edgar Allan Poe-esque.
Yeah, kind of in like its simplest terms, the endless is an entity, it is a place, and it is a feeling all at once. So the place in which this large entity resides is also the endless. The feeling that invokes people to turn to worship it is also the endless. The entity itself is the endless.
And it is without end.
And this
It is
was
without end.
an original creation, or did you pull from any inspirations?
I am
Whether
a
it be-
huge lover of eldritch horror.
Same.
Kiki and I obviously did some like perusing of movies and content before the game for inspiration, but the actual inspiration is on my end a little silly. I'm a huge fan of Star Kid Productions, and especially their Hatchetfield series and Nightmare
Yeah.
Time, where they have a group of eldritch entities that are kind of in the background of all of their shows, which are causing like the conflict a lot of the time, pulling the strings in the background. We chose to go a route that wasn't like pulling the strings. It was just a thing that existed that people could tug on the strings of to then benefit themselves, rather than a thing that wanted or had a feeling. It's
That makes
so
sense.
it's so alien to humanity that it doesn't have the same processing as humanity. It's so much bigger. How would it? An ant doesn't think like a human, and a human doesn't think like that. But it's not based on any one thing. It is original between Kiki and I. We created the endless.
Yeah, there's like some inspiration for like aspects of it and stuff, but ultimately it's when people come across something that they don't understand, like we've seen 1,000 times in history, they tend to worship it as if it is a higher being.
Right.
Despite it just kind of existing. Like the endless genuinely doesn't have wants or needs, it just is.
Yeah.
Like
Jace also asks, how many other great monsters like the endless exist in this world? Yes.
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
The answer is yes.
Oh no.
If we do a second, it could be interesting to go and like, instead of a camp, like somewhere in like Italy somewhere, and there's an ancient like catacomb underneath a church, like an old
give us
church or something like that, and just have a
Kiki, there
similar
are sharks
situation but
under Paris.
completely changed.
Oh my god, there's sharks
Doing
under
our
Paris!
own hatchet fields.
And listen, I have wanted to run a game that is inspired by the Hatchetfield space for a very long time. So this was the closest I've been able to get, because I love games like Candela Obscura. I want to run that eventually. I love Call of Cthulhu. I want to run that eventually. We love the horror. Give us excuses. We'll do it.
Kate says, we heard the name Mackenzie mentioned. Were they a camper we could have encountered as a monster?
No.
No, okay.
So
Easy answer.
there is reasoning for that.
Okay.
James, do you want to speak on it?
No, you can go ahead and give the reasoning. I've talked a lot here. But this reasoning goes into a couple other like overarching questions that have been had, so this will be useful.
Yeah. So the reason that Mackenzie does not show up as a monster is because everything that became a monster was either a victim of a ritual, part of a ritual gone wrong, or they just kind of were from the endless. Like they were beings of the endless. people that died outside of that, like of natural causes or what have you, were not affected by this. Mackenzie died before they ever got towards a ritual.
Okay.
Like, she was just straight up murdered. And she wasn't murdered by any creature or being or anything like that. You were murdered by a monster. You were tied to the endless.
That's what I was about to say. Like, wait.
All of you kind of already had ties to the endless, so if you died, you were coming back fucked up.
Oh,
Am I allowed to steal these cult ideas? You take inspiration from wherever you want, baby. But to put it simply, the previous members of Cabin 6 were trying to stop the ritual that would put Director Brunton into Sammy's body. And they got there just in time before the ritual started. And by a series of events, Sammy died before the ritual like fully took over. And so everything went wrong. This chaos of like endless and magic and shit we can't understand exploded, and everyone involved kind of got fucked up. So that's why Riley is Mothman. That's why there's a Sasquatch. That's why there's just all these weird ass fucking monsters out there.
wait, so the Sasquatch is like another camper?
The Sasquatch was a
another
counselor.
camper. No.
Oh.
It was
It was an older camper, right?
It was an older camper.
Yeah, like a 17-year-old.
Oh.
It was an older camper.
Shit.
But because so like I'm gonna tangent for a little bit here. If that's
Do it.
okay.
Wow.
I do have to
So-
be right back.
All right, pop out.
Apologies, you're wonderful.
So the reason that some of the monsters like had their own will and then seemingly didn't, like for example, Riley could be called under control, but it was very half and half. I love the cat pants. Is because they were part of a ritual that went wrong. If a ritual was successful, the cult has control over whatever that ritual made. But because the ritual went kablooey, anything that was created as a result of that ritual is a hit or miss on control. They can barely control Mothman. They can't control like there's two others that I can't remember.
Cam,
which
they can't control Cam.
They
Cam's
can't
in the
control
lake.
Cam. They can try and influence Cam because Cam's brain was already kind of fucked up from being exposed to the endless. But they can't control Cam whatsoever. They have full control of the cat dogs because those cats and dogs are from the endless. They're gifts. Sasquatch is fully under control. Etc. Etc.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything, James?
Indy. Indy is
Indy.
not. Indy is not under control of the camp whatsoever, but Indy is terrified of the camp. Indy was an NPC that was created during our first test playthrough of the system. Indy was one of the Cabin 6 campers, and the only one who did not escape in that scenario. They were the cabin mate of the Cabin 6 kids in the pre-game game that we did. We actually had our players play older siblings of the campers that were in Cabin 6 coming to rescue their siblings because all the letters stopped. And they were trying to figure out why. So they all showed up the same night to try and rescue their siblings. And met up and broke into the camp and disturbed a ritual in progress, basically. At that time, Indy is the only NPC we had created for the cabin. The only, because we wanted a round number of kids in the cabin. We didn't just want like 3 kids in the cabin. And Indy did not have a sibling there to rescue them. And in the end, ended up getting ruined.
Kind of like following on that same path of questioning, because Kate also asked, why did Riley turn Mothman? Other campers just sort of became shadows or monsters. Why did Elijah and Tabby possess things instead of that? So, ritual gone wrong equals monster partially under control, hit or miss, maybe. Ritual gone right can result in, like, if it's a sacrifice ritual and there's no, like, body transference or anything like that, they now have control over whatever monster that makes. But if it's something in the case of, like, you just died on campus, your soul usually doesn't have anywhere to go. Because this is a very liminal space. It's kind of like a trap. So the souls can't leave, but they also don't know what to do. It's why when Hannah went into, like, these kind of trances, she just saw a whole bunch of children because their souls don't know where to go. Over time, they may be sucked into the endless, but if you can find another host for a body, you can just kind of haunt that. Elijah haunted a Game Boy. Tabby haunted the cat.
Yeah, and Indy was just a restless spirit who was saved by the deer child.
Yeah. Indy was sacrificed, but because of events that occurred in the pre-one shot, he was saved. They were saved by the deer child, so they were no longer connected to the Endless, but they were trapped here like
Yeah.
Which is why they couldn't leave the shadows.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also why they're always looking like this.
Yeah, because their soul got sucked out in the ritual that they were a part of, but then that
This
soul
is
got
so
caught
sad.
by the deer child. So they were not permitted to leave the camp, but they were also not taken in by the Endless. So they were just stuck in between.
Yeah. I don't even remember if you found it, but somewhere along the walls in the camp, there's the little like etching of Indy was here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someone found that in the cabin.
I
Yeah.
think so. I just couldn't remember. Just a little guy that really liked Indiana Jones.
They really loved Indiana Jones. So Indy wasn't their like legal name; it was the name they went by. And when
Back
they
in the
came to
80s.
camp, back in the 80s, because Indiana Jones was really big, and that was their favorite franchise.
Why are you doing this?
I'm scrolling up for more questions. Hold on.
More questions?
Did you already answer exactly what the deer child
No, we
was?
should actually go into what the deer child is.
Do we want to do that now? Do we want to do that when Fef comes
Oh,
back?
let's wait till Fef gets back. We'll come back to the deer child, folks. Don't worry.
I'm gonna ask this question because I don't think it got answered by everyone. I know Kate answered in the thing. From Mets, what Scooby-Doo character best represents your character, and if applicable, what version of that character? Live action, Scooby-Doo. Where are you? What's new, Scooby-Doo, etc.
I think Elijah is a Fred because of
Oh,
traps and building.
I was fully gonna say Fred, not the personality of like, "Hey guys," but like just the, I live for making traps. I live for like catching these things. Like I'm here for this and this alone.
Patty is literally fashioned somewhat after Velma.
Yeah.
I think the semblance there is a little too uncanny to ignore. Maybe he's a little bit goofier. Maybe there's like a few shakes of the Shaggy Salt Shaker in there, but like for the most part, it's Velma. It's gotta be.
Yeah. Jensen is Scrappy Doo. Next question.
It's gotta be.
Specifically Scrappy Doo from the one where they were all kids on like the Cartoon Network.
Oh, what's up, Scooby-Doo?
Yes.
No, a pup named Scooby-Doo.
No, pup named Scooby-Doo. A pup
Which
named
is-
Scooby-Doo.
Which is crazy that Scrappy Doo is in that when Scooby Doo is already a puppy.
Yeah, yeah.
So why is
He's just
why
a
is-
newborn.
Why
His
is-
eyes
why-
aren't even open yet.
Why is Scrappy in this? Scrappy's an eternal puppy.
Forever puppy. No wonder he's so angry all the time.
Fef's back. Hi, Fef.
What's up, Scrappy?
Did you just call
Okay,
me
there's
Scrappy, bro?
Another
No.
You
question.
trying to
What did I say
scrap, bro?
back?
You trying to scrap?
Fef, because we just answered for you instead of asking, what
Oh.
Scooby-Doo character do you think Jensen is best represented by, and
Saw
what
that
iteration
question.
of that character?
I've
We said
no
Scrappy-Doo.
fucking-
Listen, I also think Shaggy kind of works, but
I
he has a little more
hate
fight
Scrappy.
in him than Shaggy.
Scrappy can die in a hole.
Rude.
God. Somebody saw the live action movie.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably be-
I specifically said pup named Scooby-Doo Scrappy, which is just like an annoying younger brother style Scrappy.
Okay, what up, Taff? I see you. I would have to lean Shaggy, simply because I don't really click with any of them in particular. If we're being real honest, I could be Daphne.
I can see it.
Just because I don't know. I don't really see too much. Also, I will have to dip again in a minute. It was for everybody. Just our landlady was supposed to come by today for like the first annual. You know, every day she pops in and she's wonderful, and she was supposed to come in at noon and didn't. So I'm gonna have to step away for a few minutes.
We forgive her. She's a nice lady.
She is a super nice lady. What else we got?
Do we want to go into Dear Child while we have Fef for a second?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to go into Deer Child?
Yeah, let's talk
Grab my
about Dear
soda, but I can
Child.
still hear
Let's fucking talk about Deer Child. So Kate asked, please explain what the fuck is Deer Child? To put it simply, Deer Child is the very first victim of this cult.
Oh.
And it was unintentional. How it goes is Dear Child was a kid just having a fun time in the forest. This was before the camp ever existed. Just having a fun time in the forest. This specific area seems to be a veil, like a thinner veil between the plains. And they were mistakenly shot instead of a deer.
Ooh.
And then to cover up what had happened, they buried both the deer and the child together.
Oh God.
So what became of it was this very young, protective spirit that just kept seeing other kids getting murdered and tried to do something about it.
So what was, if I might pick a little deeper at this thread, what constituted them becoming strange? Was it the murder? Because that still seems like a mundane-ish accident by comparison of
so
the other
it
things.
wasn't...
Was there an initial like tainting, I guess is the word, marking?
Yeah, it's kind of a combination of where they were killed and then the improper burial, along with like being mixed with another creature, and the shit that they did at the quote unquote funeral. They said some words that were not the right words you want to invoke.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's not.
Hannah knows about that.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, Hannah knows about that.
The thing about Dear Child is we wanted something to contrast the Endless as an eldritch entity and to show what a natural eldritch entity of this world would be. So you're in the forest of Appalachia. What is a natural eldritch entity of Appalachia? A trapped spirit mixed with nature. In the woods. So it has control of the trees. It represents a deer and the protective spirit. It represents a child. And therefore, all those things mixed together, when a camp sets up that is killing children over and over and over again, suddenly has the power to do something about it. The more children it was able to save, the more power it got from holding on to those children.
Okay.
And therefore became an entity that could stand up against this camp little by little. And finally, over time, going from cabin 6 to cabin 6 to cabin 6, because it's the farthest cabin in the woods, it has the most connection to that deer child. It was finally able to get a group of kids to be able to do something about it, especially because Robbie offered to do something about it, so we could offer that power to you guys.
Cool. So it was the right words. Hell yeah.
It was the right words in the wrong form. Like you gave the right words to the wrong entity.
Robbie did say the Endless, and therefore the Endless had a claim to Robbie for a short moment until like Robbie did what the Deer Child asked instead of what the Endless asked.
I do have a question that I want to get to, which is Elijah turned into a Game Boy.
Yep.
You know, Tabitha became Tabby the cat. I'm really curious as to what the rest of the crew would have turned into, but I do think it's a good time to go to break.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back, chat.
Later. See you in a second.
I've hijacked the stream. It's just us now. Folks, we're back on camera. Oh God, the other two will be back in a minute. But
I ran up the stairs.
You didn't have to run. It's fine. Fef is handling something in the house, so we are just gonna hold on to stream over here, and we'll talk about some stuff here and there. Do you two have any questions about the campaign that you would like to get some answers to? Go ahead.
Can we assign everybody camp superlatives?
Yes, we absolutely should do that. So like class clown, most likely to, etc. Like that kind of superlative. I remember when I went to summer camp, we didn't do superlatives. We just got nicknames that were very specific because it was like Girl Scout camp.
Okay.
But superlatives, God. Do you have someone that you already have one in mind for?
I think I do. For Dior, I think I would say most likely to open a fashion brand.
Ooh.
I mean, like for sure. There's no shot.
Now, I don't know what you're talking about. Assigning a superlative? I don't know what that is.
So you know, like when you would get a yearbook at the end of the year, and every so often there would be people that like were listed as prettiest smile or most likely to succeed.
Oh,
That
see,
kind of thing.
I'm very tall, so everything in my yearbooks or stuff like that would just be that. It would be like, aim for the stars. No one can reach you down.
Yeah. Elijah's most likely to start a tech startup.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, possibly.
Joey is most likely to call in sick.
Yeah.
Cookie is most likely to get a health code violation. Brunton gets most longevitive teacher. Like
Longest
legacy.
anti-retirement.
Yeah, longest anti-retirement. Jensen is absolutely like most likely to get arrested, but
I got Din Din Mets. I was taking a piss.
Taking a
Kiki,
piss.
if you had to give a superlative to one of our campers or to one of our NPCs, who would you give what?
Most likely to be under investigation by the FBI, and it's Marjorie the nurse.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Let's grab some questions from here in the chat.
Okay. Y'all gonna have to slow down with the questions.
There's so many. Kate asked, was there a significance to feeding the vessel the long pork on Barn Day specifically? Not on Barn Day specifically. So, Kate is asking because we had both Baron trying to be fed a specific type of sandwich, and then Sammy, the previous counselor, had been fed a specific type of sandwich. The specific part and the important part was just the sandwich itself, like the meat that was in it was specifically like flesh from Director Brunton. So it's specifically a way to prepare the vessel to accept her soul. So in order to make sure
it also like marks the
bacon. Ugh.
It also kind of like marks them for death. So in the same way that it preps that body to be taken over by a new person. It also is marking them to die because before that vessel can be inhabited by Brunton, whoever's in it has to leave first. So they have to kill the person, which is why Tabby suffered a gruesome fate.
Yeah. They can fix the body with enough sacrifice, which is why so many kids were going missing this year. But the real problem is just making sure they're out of there. Get them out.
So, the Tabby that we spoke to in the lunchroom was Director Brunton just trying to, like, hide?
Yes.
Yep.
Wrinkly. Ugh.
Because usually she would be in the body of a counselor and she would not have to worry about like hiding. She's just taking over for that counselor's position, and then the camp will be left to that counselor in the will, you know? So it's just, you just have to just keep going down.
And like the thing too is like it goes she would not have gotten that old and wrinkly as she is today if the Sammy sacrifice didn't go wrong 7 years ago. If it went right, she would have been in a new body already. But it didn't. It went wrong, so they had to find a new suitable candidate. And they didn't have any until Baron.
That's why they asked Baron to come back.
They would have never needed her back.
Mm-mm.
Nobody liked her. That's why she... Oh!
So the fun thing is, nobody liked her after she didn't eat the pork. Before that, they were all very friendly. They were all like very friendly towards her. They were giving her like extra food. They were making space for her at the table. And the second that Joey admitted to fucking up, everyone just went, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah. Joey was flirting with her, hoping to like get in her good graces so she would trust him enough to let him give her the lunch, and then like everything
be his
else.
Freaking stupid side piece boo thing.
Well,
after the transformation.
He would be the stupid side piece boo thing, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he would. That's what I meant.
I think I remember you even saying that Director Burton was at like the lake, the beach. So
He was.
Mhm.
And I remember, I think I remember you saying like had wrappings around one of her arms or something. And I was like, oh,
The bacon. Yo, this is
so
this is therapeutic. I like didn't know I needed all these answers. This is
so,
great.
so hearing you
I
say
love
like, oh,
campaign
a
wrap-ups.
piece of Director Burton, I was like, you sliced.
Yeah.
What do you think the special sauce was made with?
Also, Kate did ask, did Joey actually have a dad, or was that just his cover story for when he did the ritual and got young again? Joey was just 26. Joey is just a 26-year-old guy.
He did have a dad.
Father, I should say his stepfather, his parents technically aren't going through a divorce because he killed his dad. So the way this went is Joey was raised by a single mom. Single mom met a guy. That guy was a member of the cult. He suddenly had a kid that was already a teenager, and he was like, this is great. I have a kid. They're a teenager. Joey never went to the camp as a teenager because his mother didn't want him to go to the camp that his new dad worked at. But his dad did bring Joey into the cult stuff. I have a son now. I'm going to raise him up into our religion.
You know, as most white men do, they indoctrinate their sons into their cults.
Indoctrinated both Joey and his mom. And then eventually that his dad got a little bit wise to what was going
James?
on. Oh?
I can't hear you.
Oh no.
I can hear you now.
Oh.
There you go.
I can hear you.
All right, well, who
Stop
knows what
for a
happened.
second.
So his dad kind of started looking at the situation, especially when the Sammy situation went wrong. And all these kids died for no reason and everything, and they just decided we're just gonna do it again. Kind of went, oh, this is weird now that I'm a dad and I have feelings about kids. Because I really do care about Joey. I'm a good dad. I like my kid, even though it's not my birth child or anything. And he wanted to start leaving the cult. But his new wife was like embridled in the cult now and was like, why would we leave the cult? And his son, who he had indoctrinated into the cult, was like, why would we leave the cult?
Yeah.
And so when his father confessed to Joey that he was thinking about leaving the cult, Joey sold him out to Brunton to tell her that he was trying to leave the cult. And his rite of passage was giving his father to the Endless, which is how he rose so high in the ranks so quickly, because he gave up a family member, got strong from it, because if you give something to the Endless, it gives you a gift in return. So the reason Joey was so strong and was always being called in to break up fights is because his strength was from the Endless.
Yeah.
Wow.
So no, he's not his own dad, but he did kill his dad. They're not
Yeah.
technically going through a divorce because you can't divorce someone who is in the Endless.
I'm gonna get to this question before it gets lost in the void.
Yeah.
What was Patty's ideal weapon for a Sasquatch if he had it available?
Oh,
From Bill Hatman.
so you know those like supersonic cannons from the Incredible Hulk movie? Two of those on either side of it. Just want to turn those brains into a nice milkshake. I think that would do very nice. If not one of those, because the funding might not allow it.
Yeah.
It
R&D
seemed to
doesn't
not
have
like-
the budget.
Yeah, it seemed to not like fire, so one of those nice little, I'm not gonna imitate it because I don't know what Twitch's rules are, but Imtov alcohol drink.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, one of those. Just bloop, right on his chest hair. And then he wouldn't have any more.
He already doesn't really have any. It's just a few.
Yeah, he was burnt up. And I think the psychological fear would play a bigger factor in that than the actual burning. That's what I
Fun
would go
fact,
to.
that's how he died. Ritualistic fire. Yeah. It was fun. Anyway.
So there's different kinds of rituals then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends on what they need and how they're feeling. You guys are lucky you didn't have a scary story. Anyway.
Yeah. We originally had planned, the one thing that did happen is because of things getting switched around, we intended to have an episode where you guys would discover the kids in the trees during a scary story hike, with Baron and Joey. Like, you guys were going to go on a little hike to the campfire circle, but through the scary woods. And they would be telling stories. And then, Kiki, what was your favorite part of that plan? Was specifically
part of that plan was because they're telling scary stories, one of their ways to find each other is Aztec death whistles. So they would just be blowing them, and that sounds like somebody screaming. Which is also a really good way to get identification from each other.
And also, it's a great way to cover up the screams from the newly put into the trees kids.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, the next time one of us says we should let you cook, maybe we take that with a grain of salt and just prepare ourselves for what could happen. Because I'm thinking we got out of this fairly easily compared to what could have been.
Oh, we got out of this fairly easily.
My bad. I got out of this fairly easy compared to what could have been.
Oh,
We
I
got
was
turned
just
into
gonna.
a Super Mario.
Initially, what we had planned was we were gonna have Robbie get yoinked, and then at the end of that episode, because you would be gone the next week, we were gonna have Mothman steal you. Then, like
Oof.
at the end of that episode, that's where we were gonna leave it. But things got switched around, and it still worked out. I was gonna yoink you one way or another.
Mothman was gonna take me into the sky.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna
Like a
grab
good
something.
sister.
Or-
All right, I'm gonna go down over here. Matt says, what was the most memorable moment in the campaign to you and why, even if your character was involved?
There's so many. I need a second to think about this because there's so many.
Yeah, let it cook.
What are we on?
Most memorable moment in the campaign and why.
I mean, it's hit him with your car for me. Hit him with your car.
He's just a guy. Hit him with your car.
Just hit him with your car.
To also piggying back off of that, Lena asked what the inspiration for hitting him with his car, with Baron's car was. It was literally just that meme. He's just a guy. Hit him with your car. I also thought it would be funny.
Specifically, all of the injuries that Joey received are from experience that I've had in the funeral industry. Car crashes.
Been hit by a
and...
car?
No, in the funeral
Oh.
industry.
Okay, I got confused. You said you had them.
But all of Joey's injuries are actual things that I have seen happen to people. Not all on the same person, but, you know.
I think it would have to be the Riley reveal, because for those of you who don't know, I did not cook that. That was James and Kiki 100%.
That
They
was
just said
Kiki, and I'm going to give her credit for that. Kiki's
Yeah,
the one
that
who
was
decided
Kiki.
that was happening, and she made sure it happened.
yeah, and so like I never wrote that I had a sister. The only family I ever wrote was my father, who was deceased, who was a police officer, my mother, my grandpa Colum, and my stepfather Trent, who's a fucking bitch. And that was it. That was the only thing I ever gave them. And they read that and said, "Oh, timey-wimey," which I guess this would lead to another question that I had, like, in a second. But, like, just flowers upon flowers upon flowers, Kiki, because that was masterful. I still wasn't getting it up until
I thought it was your dad.
That's-
That was fun.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
that fourth place isn't for your grandpa, is it, Patty? No, it's not. Like, that's when I started to be like, wait, what? It's
Hey,
like-
Littlefoot, get out of my fucking room.
Also, the Littlefoot was, oh, that was a beautiful touch. That's so good.
Since James has experience with being the older sibling, we were like, okay, you're gonna play the older sibling. I'm gonna play them when they're fucked up. And we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
But also, what's something you would call your little brother when you're both obsessed with cryptids?
Yeah.
Littlefoot.
So
Because we knew that you would both be obsessed with cryptids, because that's not something that would only be passed down to one grandkid, you know? Like,
Oh,
that's... Or one kid. That's just something that's like a family thing. Like, your mom just has to deal with it.
Like, she's the one that would hold your hand when it was like thundering outside and tell you that it's all right. They can't get you here. Sorry, she's dead.
yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Smiley.
So I'm here trying to think of like my favorite moment in the campaign, but like I'm here like of my own or overall?
Any.
Because of my own probably is, well, first, one of my favorite moments overall in the campaign, it was just an introduction of us three, of like Jensen, Patty, and Elijah all meeting for the first time.
So good, dude.
It was just so funny. It was like two people who are doing clearly a crime and one person who is just like, so I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't want you to fix that. So
Hey, my grandpa's got to fix that. How you just stop that, eh?
like, it still works. I just took out the useless cables.
There's no useless cables.
I was about to say, if there's cables
Did
in
not
there, it's
function
probably
after
they
that.
serve some sort of function.
Nonsense. But just
I don't know.
but like for that one moment, I felt like the dialogue between the characters itself, even though we were meeting for the first time, it felt nice. It felt like smooth. It felt like this is something that would actually happen. So that was one of my favorite moments. Just us three being introduced to each other.
I think that was like the moment that solidified the campaign was going to work for me. Was like we were just trying to intro you guys, and you all immediately became a clique with conflict. It was like, not only are we sticking together, we're gonna argue about it. And I was like, bless.
I gotta keep my eye on these hooligans. Obviously, me every time.
Personally, one of my own favorite, like, of Elijah moments, my personal favorite, is just my death. It's just like just the acceptance of like, oh yeah, these things exist, and fully like fully seeing how the impact of my death went, because I can fully see Elijah saying I don't want to become one of them, while unfortunately staring Robbie in the eyes.
Horribly depressing. Horribly depresso.
It's horribly depressing, horribly. Especially with so far what Robbie has gone through that entire time.
Yeah, I really wanted to fully Robbie with it, but unfortunately, the cut for time. I was gonna give Robbie a really hard time for Preston for like letting all the friends die in front of her and not doing anything about it. Brenton's mean.
Brunton is mean.
Okay, let's go ahead and bounce around a little bit here. Bill Hatman asked, is Hannah destined to be drowned by her own ghost, or was that just a mind killer? Nope, that's what happened.
Yeah, no, that is actually what happened. I was very inspired by The Haunting of Hill House and The Bent Neck Lady. I really, really, really enjoy all of the works of Mike Finnegan on Netflix. I love Midnight Mass. I love Haunting of Hill House. Kiki and I watched Hill House and we watched the House of Usher, followed the House of Usher together. We watched the
That entire
Bly Manor together. We love all of them.
cinematic universe of just those stories. They're so good. They're absolutely wonderful horror. If you like to consume horror, it's really well written. It does not rely on jump scares. There are a few, but it doesn't rely on them. It's really well written horror.
It's really good. And then Robbie was destined to be drowned by her own ghost because she, in their little speech to the deer child, but using the wrong name. They use the name of the Endless. The Endless is a recursive sort of time and a place, and it just kind of, it's endless, so it does not end. It loops, which is why you all, when you were stuck in the Endless, it was
you fall into the Endless,
a
you
loop.
fuck with the time. And Hannah/Robbie is not the only one that was affected by that. The same reason that kid died is because they saw Jensen in a different window. They thought they were saving Jensen, but Jensen wasn't in the building. Because they saw that time ghost of Jensen instead. All of your traumas are actually y'all's fault. No, I'm just kidding.
Not mine.
Not yours.
No,
you didn't
not
do
yours.
that. Which I do
shoot
see
my
your
dad.
question.
No, the Boston Police Department did that.
Yeah.
I do see your question, Andy, and I think I'm gonna jump into that because it's
Hell yeah.
a good segue. What caused the erasure of Riley from Patty and his family members' memories?
Yeah, what's up with that?
So, a very fun thing about this camp, and it's why they are still in business after so long, and without getting fucked around with for so many kids going missing and dying and coming back broken. If something dies on campus grounds and you leave campus grounds, you don't remember them anymore. Their soul, their spirit, their body, all of that is now tied to this place, and it does not leave. So once you die there, you're gone. I think the only exception to this rule is when Brunton is still inhabiting something's body. So Brunton is currently inhabiting Tabitha's body. Tabitha's family members all remember. They know who Tabby is. They think she's having a great time at camp. But Tabby's not dead.
Yeah. And they only have to explain away one child disappearing because of Tabitha. And usually they don't have to just explain away any kids disappearing because they use counselors for that who are already adults and who have their own lives. So they, as Brunton, can go back into the world, cut ties with family, say goodbye, I'm never talking to you again, and then just stay at camp.
So if you guys left camp before dealing with the Endless, you would have forgotten Elijah. You would have forgotten any of the other kids that had died there, You would have forgotten your sister all over again.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts a lot.
How could you forget your sister?
It's also one of the reasons that
know.
Gramps was consistently Gramps does have a touch of the Sundowners, but the reason he was so consistently fucked up in the head post the way he was deteriorating so fast was because every time he came back to the camp and he figured something out, he would remember Riley, and then they would have him leave camp and he wouldn't be welcome back for a summer and he would forget Riley.
Oh, God!
You hurt yourself. Annie,
There
you
he
hurt yourself in this
goes.
question. So
Ready.
wait, that leads me in the same vein of this question. People don't forget me if they left. My parents forgot me then.
So because they kind of severed the Endless from this world, all of those spirits were released. Your family does remember you. But
Yeah.
for about a day or two, they didn't know you existed. It's this weird wibbly wobbly time thing in which you can have physical proof that this person existed. For example, Patty, all of those pictures in the hallway with you and your family members, they exist. Riley's in them,
those
but your
are
brain
real.
doesn't see them. Oh, Fef's back.
Oh.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. It's more like there is a filter placed over your world where that is just not visible. And Riley's room was made over. Mom probably thought it was a guest room before it got turned into Trinit's office. You picked up all the cryptid books assuming they were yours and moved them back into your room.
And full credit where credit's due. A lot of inspo for that did come from us re-listening to the Adventure Zone.
Yes.
The Adventure Zone is so good as well. I highly recommend Taz Balance for anyone who hasn't seen
Amazing.
that podcast.
It's great.
So good. But a big inspiration to how could you forget X? How could you forget this person that's extremely important to you? Came from the Adventure.
Here's the thing. First, I was thinking about, because before you even said this, I was thinking damn, Elijah's parents, they had to live with their baby boy just being completely gone. Because again, Elijah thinks they're divorced because of him, but now it's this.
Now there's that added depth of what can.
Goddamn, because there was a day where they just forgot he existed, and if it really was his fault, that means they could have forgot why they even divorced. They're wait, why did they divorce? What happened?
I'll tell you right now, it wasn't because of you, and it wasn't because of you. Elijah doesn't, but it wasn't.
They just weren't prepared for a child.
Yeah.
Nah, people change.
No, exactly. Which is why I was just wait, how did their life change with forgetting Elijah then? How?
You're only dead for
what was a day? A few days. Which is why I was thinking, how did their mind fix that? How did they
In the
their
same way
mind-
that you just kind of forget to do the laundry, or like you forget to pull the laundry out of the bin in 2 days. It's like, holy shit, where's my kid?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I sent
It-
him to that camp. It's okay.
Oh yeah, he's fine.
It also does help that the parents who send their kids off and then forget their kids because their kid died at camp, you've sent your kid off to camp. Having been the kid at camp, well, to be fair, my parents were working at the camp most of the time. But having been the kid at camp, other kids would be like, my mom wrote to me and she totally, like, she wrote to me that she yelled for me from my room like 6 times. And then the next week, like, she had already decided that she had 1 kid. Like, your brain does kind of settle into a rhythm when someone is missing from your life for a longer time. And doubling down on the fact that most of the kids here are like troubled kids. A lot of them are from the foster system. A lot of them are from like families who are not very close, so they don't have a lot of ties to their families even so, which is why it was such an easy way to get the fodder that they needed for their rituals, because who's going to miss these kids? It's not hard for the Endless to cover up what needs to be covered up.
I regret asking that.
This was your question.
I know. I should have just shut up.
No, it's good. You needed to know.
It's
You
important
needed
to know. It's important to know things. And actually, speaking of it being important to know things, players, from former Future Frog, how did you decide which of your fears was okay for the game and which ones were off limits to your DMs?
Oh. Did you want to take this one first?
I don't really have a lot of fears. So like I'm someone who just stays inside most of the time, so I don't experience fear a lot. I can't, and I don't think a fear of heights would really affect me in the game.
You'd be surprised.
Like, oh my god, me here in my chair in my house is now role-playing a guy who's up a tree. That's not gonna affect me. So I just personally, when I was thinking of fears, I was thinking like, these are standard fears that people have. Throw that into my character.
Put it in the gumbo.
Exactly.
I mean, for me, it was a careful balance of, okay, what are some things that like people who have like made it clear on the consent sheets actually want to like fully avoid. It's like obviously the obvious, like, yeah, we're gonna stay away from like some of the horrible topics. Obviously, we don't need to visit that if we're like playing teenagers. But it was mainly, I think Kate said this at one point. It was like, here are like some awful ones that I'm like scared of. Please use them. Use them. Scar me. Like, and that's kind of where I was at. Like, for those of you chilling, I have like crazy thalassophobia. Me, Andy, I'm never gonna go into the ocean and try and find a big squid because I'd be actually terrified that I would meet the end of my life. However, the anxiety and like chills that I would get from experiencing that in a role-playing game, totally awesome. Like, great for trying to like chase that feeling. So it's like, yeah, I have thalassophobia, James, Kiki, have at it. And they totally did. They totally used it in a great way.
We designed Lake Day.
Yoinked us into the lake. It was so good. So that's kind of what I was going for, is like, what are some things that genuinely unnerve me that aren't going to be a bother for other people? Gift wrap those. You take that. Whatever you need.
Yeah.
As like the, I'm sorry, go ahead, Smiley.
I was gonna say, I wish I had actual like fears I can think of. If I could just be like, here.
We could give you
here's
some.
fears and stuff. Like, I've seen fears that people have, and like I've talked to people about fears, and then I'm just like, wow, it sucks to have those. I'm sorry that you have those. But the role playing games, like, the drama. I know how to act fearful, but I can't actually experience the goosebumps of that, Andy. I'm just like, Okay, I'm up a tree.
It's here now.
Yeah.
They fly now.
Part of the thing too, like as being DMs, like we have two major responsibilities, and these hold equal value: making sure our players have fun and making sure that they are safe. So we have a very extensive consent sheet that we give to all of our players, and we change it like per game basis. But we give it to all of our players. We say, tell us what you're comfortable with, tell us what you're okay with to an extent, and tell us what is an absolute no-go. And then once we get all those answers, we make a little cheat sheet for ourselves so we can review it at the start of every session, be like, we're not touching any of these. And then we'll sit down, we'll have meetings with our players, especially those that like have said, hey, these are yellows, these are reds, and we'll establish those boundaries to see like, is it okay if we push this a little bit? Is this absolutely, like where can we go with this yellow? Don't want to touch it, okay, we'll avoid it. Or if they say like, because we also have on our consent sheet, do you have any phobias? And then we'll be like, so this phobia, like with Andy, thalassophobia, are you okay if we fuck with it, or do you want us to not fuck with it at all? And that's a very important conversation to have, because it could be the difference between having a good time and having a very bad time. So
To which I answered that question, please use it. Please use it.
And I just want to bring in, for everybody in here, if you're trying to run your own game, especially with horror, there are safety tools that are so important and so easy to use. This entire game we were using the traffic light system, which is why Kiki was saying red and yellow here. Green means all good, and every break, every pause, we were asking our players, and even in the side chat we were asking our players, what's your traffic light at right now? And we were looking for a green light. If anybody was at a yellow light, we slowed down and we asked, what's yellow? What are we avoiding? And then we go around it. You take caution. We never hit a red light, but the red lights are there to say, hey, we need to stop right now. And we even had the X card as an option where players could have at any time, held up an X on a paper, written an X in the chat, and we would have stopped the game immediately with the technical difficulties and seen what was going on that was a problem. So safety tools are easy to use, easy to implement, even in actual plays, and they should always be implemented. They're PSA.
They make your
And there's
game
a-
better.
yeah, they make your game so much more enjoyable. You don't have anybody that's sitting in the corner having a fucking panic attack that can't describe they're having a panic attack to you because they're locked down. You want to make sure that everybody's safe and they're having a good time, so safety tools are incredibly important. We have a consent form that we just built on Google Forms, so it's easily accessible. We send the players the link, we look at the reviews, we put it into a little Excel sheet, bada bing, bada boom, Bob's your uncle. But after that, if something comes up, because there are sometimes, especially when you're playing a horror game, there's things you don't know you're scared of until you're faced with them. So we have that traffic light system of red, yellow, and green, so that if something happens in the game, they can say in the chat yellow or red, like, hey, I'm not okay, can we move away from the subject, like I'm gonna freak out right now. And that's perfectly fine. Then it's our job as DMs to address it and get them to safety, back to a zone in which we can all have. So
I 100% love consent forms, but whenever it's horror, I feel, well, actually in consent forms in general, I feel so awkward because I'm just like, just gonna put all this green real quick. Just I'm okay with everything.
no, just tell us what you're uncomfortable with.
Here's the thing. Whenever I see a consent form and I see all things listed there, I'm just like, I'm okay with all of this.
Yeah.
Which some
Yeah.
people are. My
That's the
consent forms
thing.
are often
Yeah.
all green. But that's because I live a life where I'm inundated with a lot of really bad stuff all the time, and I am very numb to it.
Yeah. I just find it awkward for me because the thing is, I've heard some people be like, whenever I see someone have all green with that, that's a red flag for me. And I'm like, hey, is that because I like these things? It's just that I'm okay.
I'm okay with my subject matter containing some references to.
Exactly. And I'm just here like,
There's some things where it's like, for me, it's like an immediate red.
yeah.
But like other things, and I think I told Kiki and James this during the session 0. It's like a lot of the times I worry, like, if I put this as a green, sometimes it will definitely be added. But I worry that some other people may have.
That's why
a
they have
problem
their
with
own
it.
consent
I
sheet.
know.
Everyone cares too much.
I care, but my friend.
This consent sheet's for you. They have their own consent sheet.
They're good.
Listen, I'm just a worrier.
It's okay. You're very considerate, and we love you for that.
That's why we have our verbal meetings. It helps
yeah.
clear the air.
All right, moving right along. Cast. Imagine the Dual Masters throw a Freaky Friday session at you with the PCs from this game. Which character would you like to play as for a session? do you want to be switched?
You go first. I've answered last night first.
Give me Dior. if I can walk down Rodeo with a Prada bag, talking in my classic Boston accent.
Patty wants to work.
Oh baby.
God.
Honestly, like, yeah, give me Patty.
Yeah.
Like, if I get to choose, give me Patty. If it's if it's me learning like a lesson or some kind, I'd still choose Patty.
I respect it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a
A
great
grandfather who loves you? Crazy.
Grandfather who wants to spend time with you.
Wait, as far as I know, my grandfather did love me. My grandfather is the one that taught me
Yeah.
how to like deconstruct, build. He's the one that showed me that you can like do the whole Game Boy Advance thing with a computer. I just did the Game Boy Advance thing. My grandfather did love me, but the grandfather passed. That's the thing.
Yeah, so you get a grandfather who loves you back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll just get a grandfather again.
Pop,
Kiki,
pop.
which character would you play? I want to know.
Which would I play if
Yeah.
we were all switched around? Probably Robbie.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was having a lot of fun with little taxidermist there.
I think I would actually want Elijah. Or Jensen. I'm torn between the two. Because
Definitely.
Elijah, it would be so fun to play that kid with withdrawals from technology at a summer camp. Like I would want to lean into that so much. But fire's fun.
Yeah.
So it's one of the two.
The foil.
Sorry.
It's so great.
Moving right along.
Which
There's so
I know there's so many.
Which kind of makes me think. It makes me think of Tabitha right now, because
Mhm.
there's one thing we didn't touch on in the campaign. Even though I tried to get everyone to do it,
Yeah.
even though I couldn't, because I was like, "Hey, my character was told like I should never read a girl's diary," and then I handed it off to the
Yeah.
girls.
Say, hey, it's
So,
on
yeah,
you
it's-
now.
It's very fun. No one opened that Pandora's box.
I literally gave it to them like, "Hey, please read this." They're like, "Oh, okay."
Tabitha's diary was something that we left in full control of Faye. We gave her like some little things to like put in there if she wanted to, but she sent us like 2 pages of random things that were in her diary. Hold on, let me find it. Well, dear journal, today has been eventful. I saw counselors bringing in more campers today and saw the following: a kid with 2 suitcases, one with knives, one without. Bird named Kyle bit Doug the security guy hard. A tall woman with neon green hair who tried to duct tape her laptop and charger on her back. They peeled it off in the pat down. Was walking funny like she was limping, thinking the laptop may have been a distraction. Is something in her shoe? All boots? Guy who had very buff arms but noticeably weak calves tried to run back along the road and escape through the gate further up. 2 guys tackled him and brought him back. Seemed to be pouting, but please, definitely wanted attention. Courtney has a really nice shirt. Looks like she made it herself. Is it a counselor thing to get the same tattoo? They all must be really good friends.
Oh. That speaks volumes.
Cookie, does he technically count as a counselor? Saw him taking the kitchen garbages out and teaching a raccoon to roll over. Likely has done this before. Raccoon seems to be very well trained.
Controls the forest.
Miss Crystal had asked me if I've been taking any more notes. I said no. She said okay, and you would tell me if you were. I said yes, like a liar. It's just a bunch of fun little things here.
Yeah.
Did
My
she
favorite
write all
one.
this?
Yes.
Yeah, she
That's
did.
amazing.
My
So-
favorite one is Gregory said he liked my hair. Did not seem to be joking. I need to investigate further.
So I was mainly wondering if there was something in there because of the simple fact that they were even like, yeah, they write in code and stuff like that. So I was like, what's the code in this?
So
they had a lot of things that they noticed throughout the campaign. It would have just helped nudge you in the right directions depending on what you were missing.
a fun fact, Tabitha was writing in the triangle code in her coded sections because it was given to her in a dream. So she dreamed the triangle code her first night in the cabin and swapped to using that code because Baron had figured out her other one. And that was like Indy and the spirits
Yeah,
of
I was
Cabin
gonna
6.
say.
She was the first and only kid in the cabin, so they inundated her with a lot when she first got there. So
Like immediately, just info
Yeah.
dumping.
yeah, and it's a lot for your brain to sort through. So it caught like the code, and she started using it immediately, but it wasn't like understanding all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys had opened the diary, we really would have just slotted in some useful information that was for the time you were at in the story.
Okay.
We tend to try and say like certain information isn't in this bookcase, in this place, in this like section. Certain information is for this time period, and wherever you are at that time period is where you're going to find that information if you find something. So it was more like,
oh, it's weird. On Tuesday, I noticed there's only one guard roaming around instead of two. That's weird. I hope he's okay. Maybe he has things to do on Tuesdays. Like that kind of thing. Just little random things. We were talking about Tabitha's notebook and what could have been found.
Oh yeah, that was intriguing. That was really good. That was a really good idea to like kind of prolong the narrative of that character.
It was all written by Tabitha.
Yeah,
so.
by Faye.
That's
Faye
so
wrote
cool.
it for us.
That's so cool.
All right. Going back into things, I'm gonna mainly be focusing on cast-based ones because I don't know how much longer we have, all of you, and me and James can yap at any time. So, cast. What tinfoil hat theory did you have about camp that hasn't been solved? If you have one.
Which we already answered. The Joey is his own dad one, so we know that one's false.
We answered that one. We answered why you don't remember Riley.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Well, you can. I already told you the Joey's dad thing was one of my own, so I already told you that. Like, you already answered it. Like, goddamn. Did I have another theory?
If she kept him around long enough, he might have ended up as his own dad. But
okay, if not.
Oh.
Huh?
What would have
been weird.
What
amazing.
was it about the whistles that like
So
was able to lock in certain monsters?
Yeah, so as we mentioned before, there are monsters that can be controlled and there are ones that they have a hard time controlling. Miss Brunton has a whistle that's like at a certain frequency, and it was a gift from the Endless that she uses to control these monsters.
Okay.
Joey just happened to like sit there and take enough time to learn how to whistle at that exact frequency. He's the only other one that can do it.
That's
Yeah.
He
slick.
is such a fucking tryhard.
But in my opinion, the reason he was gifted that is, again, when he sacrificed his father to the Endless, he was given some gifts, and that was the strength and, like, the ability to rise in the ranks, so to speak, because that's what he wanted. He wanted to rise in the ranks. So the Endless gave him things that would make him useful to Brunton.
Huh.
Metz has asked if your character were to survive the camp and live a normal life afterwards, which monster would haunt them the longest?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Probably the. Was this directed at all the players?
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Okay.
the cast.
Probably the tree entity, and more so the terror of when the kids are being like slowly consumed by the trees. That was terrifying for me. That was horrific.
If it's specific,
So you like that, huh?
Yeah, if it was Elijah would probably be haunted by the creatures that dragged him down in that lake.
R.I.P. Cameron.
Cam.
Yeah.
He's that reporter.
He went down there deep and fast, so
Put it on the quote wall.
Cool.
Did we answer the question of what the other characters would be if they were murdered horribly and then turned into thing?
no.
Oh, no, we didn't do that.
I don't think we did.
They were waiting for you
yes,
to come
but-
back.
I gots to know.
So,
I'll answer this one real quick, just because
Yeah.
it's pretty simple. It'd be Riley in her Mothwoman form. Like, even realizing that was his sister, Patty would not be able to stop thinking about her for years. Like,
Especially
and
now
he
that you can remember her.
Especially now that he can remember her
Yeah.
and remember why she was sent to camp, and like the whole unpleasantness with the corruption in the Boston Police Department. So like, he'd want to go and like petition and investigate these sorts of things, because it was wrong and also his father was killed, but like also as like he feels like it would be like the biggest slap in the face to her, which is like so sad. He misses his sister.
Yawa.
Yeah.
Don't forget her again, Littlefoot.
Yeah, but you and your mom can miss her together now, and Grandpa. It might help Gramps a little bit with his head.
Your grandpa definitely can remember with you. Your mom might take
Your
a
mom
lot
might
more
be
time.
hard. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's been 7 years of that memory gone. So
Yeah.
would
your
it be
sister...
more painful for her to remember that she had a child and has lost it, or to just let her continue existing without the knowledge of her firstborn?
Yeah, because Riley was 16 when she was sent to camp.
16.
And you were like
Probably like
7 at the time. Yeah.
Jeez.
Had it written
Oh
down.
man.
The lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so other items. Tabitha attached to Screwball because it was the last, she was so obsessed with having a cat, and it was she held the cat. She was excited about the cat. So her soul caught on and latched on to Screwball. Elijah carried that Game Boy with him everywhere. So his soul latched onto the Game Boy. But it's not guaranteed that a soul is going to latch onto something. We were always going to do that. If you guys died, we were gonna, have you come back wrong, more specifically. Then we were gonna have you attached to objects, because the objects thing was because unfortunately Smiley couldn't keep playing with us, so we wanted to make sure he was attached to an object. And the Tabby Cat was because Faye wasn't going to be here the entire time. So originally they attached to objects just as a way for us to keep them haunting the narrative without their players having to be here.
That makes good sense.
So with if Jensen had passed and you didn't want to do a whole new character, we would have let you come back wrong. Jensen would have come back wrong.
Cool.
And you would have kept playing Jensen.
Okay.
If Dior had died, Kate had requested that she be allowed to play Kyle.
Kyle with the rabies?
Kyle with the rabies.
With the rabies.
So Kiki and I were on the fence about allowing that, because we thought it'd be really cool to have Dior come back wrong. But
okay, how legit was the monk training?
Legit.
So cool.
Legit.
Yeah.
So cool.
She spent an entire 4 months with Tibetan monks learning
That's so cool.
stuff.
That's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm moving right along. I'm gonna try and do lightning round really quick. What was everyone's favorite jump scare other than the Jet 2 holidays? From Bill. Hold on, let me just real quick.
No.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
Alright.
I'm switching the music
It's
up.
over. Anyway.
Finally be put to bed.
He's putting on the creepy music. Anyway. So, what was everyone's favorite jump scare aside from Jet 2?
Probably when Baron hit Joey with the car. I didn't see that coming at all. I was just like, yes! It was just, no! Yes!
Like you thought you could get away.
Oh, I know. It was the "You are fucking kidding me," and then I turned around to my sign and I was like, "You're supposed to help me."
That was such a good moment.
Suddenly Bigfoot is
showed
terrifying.
up.
Suddenly Bigfoot is some
I think that was my favorite moment a monster came in, was Bigfoot.
It felt very Attack on Titan. Suddenly there's this face in the window taking up the whole window kind of energy. It was terrifying. Terrifying.
Fog up the glass with his nostrils.
What glass? Crash.
Yeah, no, literally.
And then just started throwing people.
Yeah, and scalping.
And scalp.
I don't know.
That's what he
if
was.
it counts. I don't know if it counts, but when Elijah first met Riley.
That is a jump scare.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very interesting, and I loved that Kiki was able to do that, because we did want to tease that Riley existed, like, before we got to Mothman. So to have her appear with her red hair and then turn around to have the moth face was like us being like, it's another camper, but a moth!
But this time,
There was
it's a
a-
moth.
There's a few instances in which we were like, I could put Riley here, I could put Riley here, I could put Riley here. And then Elijah was alone, and I was like,
Right there.
Oh my gosh.
right there.
How much steam do we got in the tank, gang? Should we grab a break?
I'm fine right now.
No.
Y'all?
I'm good.
Down to keep going?
Yeah.
Personally, pretty sure I gotta leave soon. So
Yeah, no worries.
No
Do we want to see if there's any more cast questions, and then we can
That's what I'm looking for.
let Smiley go? And Andy, you're welcome to stick around, even though it'll be mostly DM stuff, because you can add to it.
I'll
I
probably
guarantee.
hang around till like 10:30.
I'm looking for more cast-based questions because there's so many DM
if
questions.
it's like until 10:30,
there's a lot of
then
DM
I
questions.
can keep going.
Okay. Is that is everyone on the same time zone?
Yeah,
we're
we're
all
all East Coast.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
central, so.
You're the only one who's different.
Another
That's okay.
another half hour effect.
Okay, sounds good.
Cast.
We'll have the players for another half hour, and then you can have the DMs for as long as you want.
Excellent.
Yeah, so, okay. Cast, if you had the chance to write an epilogue for your character post-Torment, what would happen in it? That's from Mets.
Ooh.
This is y'all. I'm dead.
But if you could have an epilogue, like,
Yeah. If Elijah had been able to play through, because if you didn't have things come up in real life, you would have played through. And Elijah didn't look like he was gonna go anywhere anytime soon.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Therapy for certain. Therapy, and then see if we could get Dior to get some kind of massive payout in court, and see if we could get Jensen to live a little comfy, you know.
on a Jet 2 holiday, perhaps?
Well, you can't tell me Dior doesn't have a fleet of lawyers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
her
it worked for her
parents'
parents.
Hi, Gary. Go see Attorney Law.
But actually, that's a question. I'll save that. I'll save that for a second. But after this question, I'll probably ask the question. But for if Elijah actually went through the whole thing and had an epilogue, probably afterwards with their now acceptance of this all, being real, Elijah would probably, yes, much like Fef says, one, therapy, but also two, use their ability to hack into systems to find all the kids who, went missing, got sacrificed, stuff like that. Find all their information and then, track down the families and be like, hey, this is what happened.
Here's that closure.
Yeah, this is a closure you need. But also see if I can, set up like some kind of like plot in the cemetery. Like y'all need to be officially like buried if we can do that, or put on a wall. Probably a wall. Also, still get the social security numbers of Joey.
I'm gonna ruin that kid's life, even though he's dead.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it that he's still technically alive, and then just ruin his credit score.
Want his legacy tarnished.
I don't know where his mother went, but I'm getting that social security too.
Oh, she's gone. She was a member of the cult, so she got sucked in too.
Oh man. So what happened to them?
No, because I don't know if she
worry about
was there. I don't know if she was there at the camp at
It
that
does
moment.
not matter if a cultist was at the camp.
So Dior's parents are gone.
Dior's
They're-
parents weren't cult members technically.
They were just negligible.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay.
Listen, there's a fine line and there's a radius that they have to work with. While some cult members were not at the camp, if they were not close enough to the camp, they did not get sucked in, but there's a chance that they suffered like a medical emergency kind of thing.
Oh.
So like they could have just randomly had a stroke.
So I can ruin
Doesn't mean
their
they're dead.
credit scores. I
You
can get
absolutely
their
can.
social
You
Listen,
probably
credit
should.
score.
But Dior's parents, we never really solidified if they were like solidly cult
Mhm.
or if they were just like this was a means to an end for them, where they really did think that like they were being promised like a full solution to Dior's problem, like the problem that is Dior, like not only for a summer, like Brunton promised them she would be fixed and taken care of like forever, but we don't actually know if they understood what that meant.
Okay.
Because they could have just assumed it meant like she would be rehabilitated. This will be a perfectly good kid for you now. But Brunton was under the impression that meant you're not going to need to remember her anymore. We're just gonna use her up. Like, all done.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Elijah will go
I think-
after their social security as well.
I think if Patty had an epilogue, it would involve trying to go back to Boston. I'm slipping back into the accent already. Trying to go back to Boston, and figuring out exactly what his sister was fighting against, because it wasn't like this like long forgotten thing. It was only 7 years ago, so there's very much still a chance that the police department is corrupt, that other officers or other citizens are in danger.
Killian.
And now he's gonna have this like bold new like confidence that I am totally right. I met Bigfoot and Mothman. She's my sister, and I know the depravity that certain people will go to just to gain an upper hand. So I'm not gonna sit by and let that happen anymore. I'm gonna do what I have to stop it. I think he would like to keep in touch with everybody as well as he can.
Yeah, me too.
This is an internet age. You all swapped
Yeah.
information. You've got a Discord. It's fine.
We started a Discord
You know
server.
what's
I
up, group?
fully run it.
You're on Signal. You added that one person on accident.
Elijah's our mod.
Oh man.
All right, let me go through here again. Cast, who was your favorite monster from former Future Frog?
Mothman.
Mothman.
I keep saying Mothman. Technically, Mothman exists in this world, probably, but it's Mothwoman. Riley is my favorite monster because they saved me.
Probably the first victim, the deer entity. Shocker, I know. I've got
Yeah,
it
they're
tattooed
cool.
on my arm, but
They're fucking cool.
that was nuts. That was
Got the ink
wild.
yesterday.
Yeah.
What about you, Smiley?
The very first monster, the cat creatures.
Yeah.
Fun fact about those cat creatures, because we didn't get to delve into it very much. They have that barbed tongue, or that like shoots out and then the barb spread. But also they have this power of mimicry. So much like a lyrebird, if you ever heard one, they're such like perfect mimics. If you haven't heard of them, go look them up. They can imitate literally anything.
Yep.
They keep their mouth open when they're imitating, and all the sound comes out of the side neck of like frill gills. It's really weird.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why you would hear Tabitha's voice multiple times after.
Is anybody there?
It's also
Is anybody there?
Oh.
they managed to get the phone call because do whatever they want.
I thought that was Kiki.
Sorry.
No,
I
that's
get a
my
little
child.
antsy when I don't have my
Former Future Frog in the chat just went, "Oh no, they mimicked the cat for Tabitha." You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Screwball was
Gotcha.
It was never Screwball in the woods.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I fully figured that. As soon as you
Oh
said,
man.
as soon as we
Because
heard,
They
like,
deliberately
tapped all
chose.
around.
They deliberately chose to mimic the cat because they could tell she ate the long pork.
Yes.
they had her scent on lock,
Oh my
and then they
gosh.
deliberately chose something they knew would lure their prey away from a group. They are hunting animals.
Bro.
Hate that.
Anyway,
That
cats are-
portrays a level of intelligence that is absolutely terrifying.
Yes.
the cats are one of my favorite monsters.
Yes.
Um,
And I love the dogs.
The cast. If you could have any single spell or ability from a D&D class for your character in this game, what would it be and why?
That's from Mets.
Take away, Jensen.
What was the question? Sorry.
If you could have a single spell or ability from
Ah.
any D&D class for your character in this game, what would it be and why?
Either
Fireball.
spare the dying. Well, I'm going off of cantrips.
Oh yeah.
No, any spell or ability.
Oh.
Any of them.
Investiture of Flame. It's my favorite. It's my
Ooh.
favorite druid spell. Where you essentially light yourself on fire, don't take fire damage, and just throw out these long lines of fire like a firebender. It'd be perfect for Jensen.
Hell
They
yeah.
can't catch you if you're on fire.
God damn it! Get the fire extinguisher.
Other boys?
It's also on fire. I don't know.
There's so many spells. There's so many abilities.
There are.
What's like the first that comes to your mind that you would like?
Well, if it's specifically for like this thing, then I know there's a grave cleric ability that allows you, like the eyes of the grave, that allows you to, I believe, see if there's a spirit within 60 feet in the direction you're looking at.
That's pretty good.
So I'm pretty sure if Elijah had that, his eyes would be burning in every single direction.
Yeah. I just figured it out. I know exactly what I would want.
Oh.
Zone of Truth.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yeah, you
that's,
probably should have had that.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Hey Joey.
Hey Joey, what's the dealio?
What's funny is we wouldn't even do it to Joe. We'd do it to Baron. And Baron
We
wouldn't have any
wouldn't do it
answers.
The funny thing is, Bear's telling you the truth the whole time.
yeah.
And Joey
Who are
never. I also have to say, Joey never lied when you asked him questions. You guys just asked him softball questions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You omitted the
funny.
truth.
I purposely made sure he wasn't lying when he told it. That way, because there's no like insight checks in this style of game unless you guys called that you wanted to pull cards for it in the moment. So I was just like, I'm just gonna make sure he's telling the truth because I don't want them to later be able to say, well, you lied and we assumed you were telling the truth.
Yeah.
He was telling the truth.
I loved the therapist.
I
loved the therapist
love
lady.
Miss Crystal.
And she was, Miss Crystal, who was just like, okay, I'm not gonna step through the door. And we're like,
Vampire.
Vampire.
She's just kooky.
Yeah,
she's
she's
just kooky.
She's just kooky, and she was not a cult member. I
She was
misspoke in the
kinda
final episode
normal.
and corrected to the nurse. She was a normal person. She was hired because she wasn't a good
She's not
counselor.
very perceptive.
So they hired her because they have to have one because of the new laws and regulations for camps like this. So they got one where they either could convince her later on to join the cult or she would just never notice it.
Okay.
Which is why she ran away when she heard.
Yeah,
all
she had
the-
no idea what the hell was going on. She was
She
like,
was freaking
I'm out of
out.
here.
She's freaking out. Okay, this one's from Bookworm Zip. If you players, if your souls were going to be attached to something, what would it be?
If my soul.
Yeah. Like you as Smiley. If your soul like attached to something in the same style Elijah did, what would it be?
I don't have anything like that.
Smiley's like, I hold nothing of value.
Hey, truly, no.
I feel like it's gonna be your beanie. You've
It's
worn
his
that, like,
beanie.
every episode.
But we're
beanie
talking
is a
as
good
players,
beanie, though.
not as
yeah,
characters.
as
Yeah.
players.
Okay.
You
Well,
can answer for the character too, but
Well, this is a cool beanie. My dad gave it to me, but also I wear this beanie to get in character as Elijah. I was just like, Elijah wears beanie, I wear beanie.
Hell yeah.
I would attach myself to Bookworm Zip because that stuff.
That's
I
not an
want.
object. That's a person.
Well, I'm not trying to objectify her. I just don't want to go on without them.
That's
I will haunt the television in their home. Then I'll go, hey, it's me. It's time for the 82 show. Here, and I'll wear like a Beetlejuice outfit.
excellent.
all right.
If
That's
anything,
not a real answer.
If anything, if I could haunt a set of things, I'd probably haunt like my kitchen equipment. You know,
Haunted kitchen
That's
sounds
fair.
good.
Haunted kitchen.
Yeah,
Haunted kitchen.
that's about it.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna speedrun some of these, like Dungeon Master questions.
Yeah, we will
what
probably not get to every question tonight, but Kiki
Yeah.
and I are willing to answer some in the chat later on. We'll try and save them and like answer them for you.
Also, if you see us live and we're just like playing games or something, feel free to ask either of us questions.
Very true.
Nordic said, "What did Robbie get for killing Brunton then?" Got her friends out safe. Got a hand in cutting off the endless by the goat child taking care of Joey. Hannah and Robbie and all her friends then took care of Brunton and stabbed her thrice, which then made sure that their safety was ensured because that's what Robbie wanted. So that's that. James, what was Robbie's vegan creepy clear dressing actually?
So Cookie was absolutely trying to honor the vegan food the entire time. He just does not understand vegan food. So he just knew that it couldn't be anything animal based whatsoever. So the gravy was him trying to make a gravy without any beef or chicken broth in it. So it was literally just like water and cornstarch.
That's just a corn slurry.
Yeah.
Yep. It wasn't good.
Yeah, he was never good at it, but he was trying. Cookie was genuinely like, he liked cooking for the camp. He just also happened to work for an evil cult. He played with the raccoons.
Cookie was a terror. But for some reason, I kept getting Jacques from Finding Nemo, the little shrimp. That was just like,
He didn't talk much.
Yeah, for some reason, I just kept getting that energy. Even though it didn't sound like him, aesthetically it was a spider, not a shrimp. I just kept getting shrimp, but cook, but cabin cook.
Shrimp.
Alright, let's see. What was an NPC character that you planned to be a one-off that the player's interest made you bring back up again and again? That's from Bill. Kyle,
Yeah.
Kyle was
Kyle's
not
the
supposed to
answer.
exist. Kyle's the answer. In that same vein, did Kyle actually have rabies, and what happened to him in the end? If the party failed, what would Kyle have become? Kyle did not have rabies because he would have died. But he has done this trick so often of like to freak people out. He learned how to foam at the mouth really good. And he also was adept at biting people. So unfortunately, because of that, people assumed that he had rabies because they don't know enough about it, especially children. And that's just kind of how he was. That habit, that like talent became habit, and then he became a problem child. So they sent him to camp.
That's actually a testament to y'all's excellent storytelling, because you had eldritch horrors, you had spider swarms, and then a kid who pretended to have rabies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is the most grounded thing ever. It's the most grounded thing ever.
Do shit.
That's so good. That's just great storytelling.
Special ability.
I used to know someone who could do that, like foam at the mouth. It's gross.
I used to be able to cry on command.
I can sometimes cry on command. I used to do it for my TikTok.
I can blow
and
smoke out of my mouth.
To answer the second half of that question, Kyle would have become a tree, but Katie kind of wanted to play him, or Kate kind of wanted to play him after. So we did not put him in the tree.
Yeah, we were planning on killing Kyle in the trees, and then Kate had asked, if Dior dies, can I play Kyle? And because we were unsure if we were going to let that happen, we did not kill him, just in case.
James, what was the inspiration behind Friends? Friends!
The Friends inspiration was the fact that it was Cam the whole time, and I wanted to be able to show that the monster was still like a kid who's trapped as a monster and has like their brain just isn't working the same way anymore. The Eldritch Horror has reverted them to something new and unknown. And so any of the monsters had like trigger phrases like Riley did with Little Red and things like that. They had things that would zone them into like paying attention. But for Cam, because he's so isolated under the lake, the moment he sees people around him that he can play with, like a kid, he's like, oh, a friend. And because in his final moments he was calling out for his friends, Riley, for Mackenzie and things like that, and because of the whole, you guys heard the tapes, he even being in the endless in solitary changed him first. It broke him. And because he was calling out for his friends is like a thing that he just repeats, so it's just a part of his character.
He's a Pokemon.
Fine.
Okay.
Do you guys have any questions that you want answered?
What
I'll let you go.
what was y'all's takeaway on the scene where Jensen kind of like got a torch going? There was like the weir lights out in the distance, and he was just like, everything's gonna be okay, and like came into a lucidity. What was y'all's takeaway from that kind of new development?
Us as the DMs or the players?
Yeah, this is the DMs, like moving forward from after that scene. Was there any
We knew that you wanted Jensen to only be present when there was fire, and so it made a lot of sense that he zoned in, but it also really showed like the duality of a younger kid where they can be serious for moments at a time, but usually only under like high pressure situations. And it felt right that like it wasn't really taking a leadership role, it was taking a like guiding role. And that really felt like Jensen, when he grows up, could be a very good guiding presence for people, because it feels like Jensen from a young age is learning lessons that a lot of people won't learn for a very long time. So once Jensen can get over the trauma of the events at camp, I think that Jensen's going to be a very well-rounded individual, just with a presence and potential for fire making.
Probably doesn't leave the city much.
No.
Was there a specifically favorite in-character moment for everybody?
Favorite moment?
Well, I've got one, but I want to hear your guys's first.
I think when they were trying to take Robbie away, and I was like, I'm sorry, gang. Jensen just wouldn't be okay with this, and like grabbed her hand, like grabbed the doorpost and just started screaming. It was probably the most like, I really hope the DMs aren't trying to take this kid for any reason, because I just can't allow it. The Jensen just would not be okay with that at all. That's how that like any breakaway at that point meant death.
I mean, I already shared one of my favorite moments, which was, us all three meeting, and also, my death.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorite moments.
The meeting in the bathroom.
Yeah,
God, it was so good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Andy?
There was one specific moment after Elijah met Riley, where we're all back in the cabin, and Robbie's got the rash on their arm and is like looking to Patty for some reassurance, and where Patty like doesn't give it. It's like this big cacophony moment. I forget what episode it is. It's like one of my favorite moments. But like Jensen's like, we should do that, like kind of quietly spoken. Robbie's full on hysterically laughing. Dior is like talking, trying to word things out, and like Elijah, I can't remember what you were doing, but you were also trying to like figure something out. And Patty is just sitting there quietly listening to all of this. And I think in that moment, there was nothing being described. There wasn't really a goal being worked towards. It was a group of 5 kids actually in a cabin, actually dealing with this unbelievable circumstance in their own way, and completely in over their head. And in that moment, I was like, man, this is cool. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, Patty's freaking out right now. He doesn't know how to approach this. But like, as a player, I'm like, this is real right now. This is like, oh, it's so cool. It's one of my favorite moments.
I was just on the floor.
Yeah.
I was on the floor because that's what I did in order to dodge your sister.
I remember that's one of the moments we had a traffic light check in chat on the side. We were like, what's everyone's light color? And everyone was like, green. We were like, okay.
Yep. I really enjoyed just having the most out of pocket, out of left field commentary and or questions. Like when like after seeing how Baron was being treated by all the other camp counselors and staff, it was just Jensen. I realized that Jensen would be confused by this because he has to be here. And he's a kid. That's an adult choosing to be here.
That is one of my favorite moments too, is when Jensen, this very quiet, very like kind of lost child, just like looked up at Baron, an adult figure, and went, "Why do you stay here if no one likes you?" I was like,
Real.
"Damn!"
But that's how he was able to like filter it into like a sentence.
Yeah.
Middle schoolers are the scariest people on the planet.
They clock your
That's evidence.
insecurities, bro. But yeah.
I off of what you were saying, James, I pride myself on my vernacular. You know, just I feel like I use a good spread of words that aren't too complicated, you know, that are varied enough. And I had some kid look at me one day as I was just excitedly talking to my friend. And the kid just quietly just goes, "Do you mean to talk like that? Like, do you do that intentionally?"
Bad time to take it.
And I was just
That would end me. I think I'd be on the ground.
I took it as a compliment. But there was just a moment of this little shit. This little shit.
I still find it funny where I was just like naming everything, what everything is. I was like an arsonist, not a cop, stuff like that. And I just get the Robbie. I was like Robbie.
I saw Jace asked the players if you could change the location of the campaign, where would it be?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Because we put it in Appalachia, but where would you put it?
Who, me?
Yeah, players.
Oh,
where would you put it?
Y'all put it.
Oh. I wouldn't mind a like a inner city, not like our like real world inner cities, but like Gotham had like a in one of the Batman trilogy, the Batman trilogy. I think Christopher Nolan, I think did it, but it was the one with the Heath Ledger's Joker.
Batman?
Yeah, Robin grew up
yeah.
in this orphanage that had like multiple floors and a rooftop with the basketball court on it and stuff like that. And I was kind of intrigued by that setting a little bit. So I would maybe try some of the more city cryptids and stuff like that and try to do like a similar thing. But it would have also, of course, have its own difficulties. Like you could easily go to the police, run away, you know, cry for help and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. What about you guys?
I think me personally, I love the setting location. If I could change anything, it would be the time of year, because I'm a huge fan of Until Dawn.
Yeah, so winter.
So like dead of winter, everything's covered in snow. Like
That's me.
the image of small. Oh yeah, write it down. The image of a blood trail being in the snow would go so hard. Like I love that game, and like I feel like
That was
summer
a
works
scary game.
for Cabin 6, but like it would also work in the winter too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Smiley, any opinion on that one?
I like both of these ideas, but for me, the only thing that's come up to mind, and it's because I recently played this game, is something close to South of Midnight.
Ooh. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Southern Gothic.
It's because-
Southern Gothic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Mainly because of the fact that when you play the game, you see stuff in people in that normal people do become creatures. These
Yes, actually.
and it's these traumas that they experience
Mm-hmm.
that make them into these creatures.
Yeah, South of Midnight has a beautiful premise, and
Exactly.
it's a beautiful game. And if you haven't had a chance to play it, you should play it.
Absolutely.
A lot of heart and soul
Please.
went into that game, and it's beautiful.
So
It's beautiful.
for me,
Soundtrack alone is worth that
oh,
game.
fantastic. So for me, when we were playing this game, and I recently just played this, and I was looking at all of it, and I was like, this is the closest thing that I can really bring into this. Like, I was like thinking like, oh yeah, if we were going to change locations, it would for sure be like South of Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the
Spooky
only
Bayou.
place I can think of.
If I had to choose another location to do something like Cabin 6 in, I would either want to put it on a cruise ship.
A cruise ship is a good one.
Well, I know what you did last summer too, baby.
A cruise ship is fantastic because it is a completely isolated environment. You cannot escape. And if it's cut off from the outside world, it is cut off from the outside world, and whatever happens on it happens. I love the idea of cruise ship horror. However, I do live in Florida. I live in South Florida. The Bermuda Triangle is a big thing for us, where I live. So, like, I would love to bring in some, like, South Florida flair maybe to something someday and do something regarding the Bermuda Triangle and all that.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
Next year.
Florida.
Florida.
Shane, thank you so much for the raid, buddy. I hope you're doing well.
Oh, hi, Shane.
Yeah.
I was gonna raid you.
Before we lose our players, because people have some places to go, even if the DMs can stick around and talk for a while more, if you guys want that. We have a lot of questions to answer. We're willing to when Kiki comes back. Let's see. In the same vein as an epilogue, where do you guys see your characters in 10 years? I know Smiley, Elijah has passed, but if Elijah had survived, where do you see them in 10 years?
Well, aside from what I already said, the whole, it's ruining people's social securities, there's credit scores, draining people's bank accounts. Aside from that, I only see him work doing one of two things. One, starting up that tech company, or just laying low and just fixing computers at a Best Buy. Yeah.
I think for Jensen, it comes down to whether or not he is rich now. And if he has to work, I could see a world where listen, it's true. If Dior is willing to like go to bat in court or whatever the fuck needs to happen, if Jensen needs to work, then he would probably try to go like be a firefighter, but then end up in a desk job with the fire department because he still has his love for fire.
They do test firefighters for arson tendencies before they hire them these days.
All right, so desk job. Desk job with the firefighters or something. I don't know, honestly. Hey, what up, Cloudy Kate? Good to see you.
Hey.
No.
Andy?
Yeah, I think that there might have been a time when he was younger before camp where Patty really would have loved the idea of joining the force. But now, after everything that kind of got uncovered, he would absolutely not do that until he could be sure that that precinct is one of integrity and actual justice. So he'd probably pursue the path of becoming a PI, a paranormal PI.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would probably start in Boston. But the more experience he got, he would probably venture out into like other parts of the country, maybe other parts of the world. Because with such an earth-shattering experience as this, I think he'd be very confident that it couldn't just be located or localized to one area. There's got to be like other things out there that could possibly pose dangers.
That makes sense.
Oh, for sure.
So he'd want to get in the middle of that.
Kate's in the chat and says Dior would start a charity for koalas or something, and that's beautiful.
That's so real.
That's beautiful.
It's so real.
You can't do your axolotl form anymore. You gotta go to koalas.
Yeah, you can't have the axolotls anymore.
You gotta
Koala
progress
coverage.
as your character
Sponsored.
ages.
I will
By the
also
Hindus.
ask from Bill Hatman, which of the survivors do you think left the camp the most changed for your final question as players?
Ooh.
Mm,
Who changed
Robbie.
the most? Yeah, I'd say Robbie.
Robbie's up there. Yeah.
Robbie.
Robbie's up there.
Because Robbie's opener was something along the lines of like, "Yes, Dad, I will fix myself. I will commit to not becoming," or like it was some kind of one-liner like that was just gut-wrenching, and
Yeah.
then went through all that trauma, especially with by the water side with Dior a couple of times, like on 2 different occasions. And then rose to the occasion, overcame the challenge, survived. I don't know,
I think I'd have to agree. It's either Robbie or Dior on my end. Watching it,
Dior changed.
Dior changed very
Considerably?
subtly though. She always
Yeah.
cared about other people.
Yeah.
She just didn't have a way to show it, and now she can show it, and that's
Yeah,
about
for
it.
sure.
Maybe.
Like,
Go
like
ahead, sorry.
Dior changed in the sense of like how you're saying, like always cared, but now currently at the very least, as far as we know, doesn't have the I was about to say the money, the money,
Man,
the money in order to actually do the help that she probably wants. And of course, I don't know the future of Dior. I don't know if they have the money or not, but they probably, if they don't have the money, they probably have to like do the things that poor people have to do, which will considerably change them.
Get a 9 to 5.
Yeah. But aside from that, there are Dior and Robbie are the 2 that are changed most.
Mm.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, to say something, Andy,
beautiful.
because you said you were going to be going PI, you fully know that if Elijah was still alive, Elijah would mess with you by calling you a cop.
Oh my gosh.
I like.
I ain't one of those blue coats.
You went from being called a cop and not liking it because it was being made fun of, but then you went to not liking being called a cop because you're like, fuck, ACAB, hold on, shit.
Literally, they killed my dad.
I will fully admit, there is some DM intervention there where we were like, oh, his dad was a police officer. He had to be one of the good ones because we think ACAB. So that means there's a reason he's gone.
Listen, yeah, I knew that was probably the route we were going to take. I just didn't know how we were going to get there.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard
the-
that you wanted your dad to
Inside
be a
job.
cop, and I was like, bold. This will be an interesting thing to kind of piece apart and come at from all the angles.
Yeah.
Kate over here being like, Elijah and Tabitha changed quite a bit.
Yeah, Elijah and Tabby did change a little bit. Screwball maybe changed the most.
That's true.
Um,
Screwball takes the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to break. Everyone say bye to
Bye.
Andy and oh my God, I said Elijah. I'm so sorry. And
It's
Smiley.
okay.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay.
Thank you for playing.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having us, and thank you all for watching. This is one of the best gaming experiences of my life. I love
Absolutely
you all.
amazing.
Have a great night, and I'll see you on Saturday night at Bayonet.
Yeah. All right.
I'll see you in your
Bye-bye.
dreams. Peace.
Oh. And we're back. Oh,
Uh-huh.
and we're back. I am cut off at the eyeballs.
No ice!
Nice.
No ice!
It's a oh,
I had to eyeball
he's
it,
working on it.
as it were.
He's working on it. There it is. It's a DM's only chat now.
You guys have so many freaking questions. We're gonna try to get to them as much as we can, but we might have some cut for time. If we cut your question for time, we do apologize, but you can bother us when we're just streaming games.
Very true.
Yeah.
All right, we're
Which
good.
we will be tomorrow.
Should we just start from the top?
Yeah,
Go
let's
down.
do it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm handing the MC mic to Fef.
Yeah, Fef, it's all in order right there for you, bud.
On the re-up.
On the
Yeah.
re-up, yeah.
Okay. Bill says, would Spirit Elijah eventually make his way into the World Wide Web and live as a cyber gremlin, or would he be trapped in the Game Boy Advanced?
So the way that it kind of is his soul had left the Game Boy Advance at the end of the series. So
Oh.
as of the moment, we don't know where it is.
But
You
like,
can
was
assume
it
that
like
it
a
would with the
it
rest of the
found
camp.
peace? It went back to the nature it was supposed to be in originally, and so no, we don't even know that. No closure at all. That's fine.
Whatever makes you feel better. But I'm gonna kind of want to leave it open in case we fuck
Yeah.
with it.
Do we know there's an afterlife in this world? Who knows?
Who knows?
Oh no, he's doing the thing. Watch out.
Oh no, he's ascending into the fuck you stance.
There we go.
You have such a unicorn that I can understand.
Yeah, from Mets DMs, if you could have run this series at a physical table for streaming, what kind of physical props would you like to have prepped or used? You did have some physical props already.
We did have this game at a physical table, not exactly as we ran it for the full length series, but we did run a prior one shot, and we did that in person with some friends. And James really loves his props, so
Yeah.
This is what they had to
Careful.
solve in order
Careful,
to get their
SpongeBob.
code.
Oh, bring it more center. Oh.
It's a Jenga tower that has the code on it, but you have to match up the pictures on the sides in order to make sure you've got the right
What
code.
the fuck?
It took them
like 45
40 minutes.
And it was three of them.
Hell yeah.
It took me like 30 minutes doing it by myself because James was like, I want to make sure this is solvable, and then just shook it out in front of me and said, go for it, little gremlin. And the little puzzle gremlin and me went, yeah.
See, I myself am not a puzzle girly.
Mm-hmm.
I am not fluent with the puzzles. So my mind kind of boggles. You guys handed me some codes and I was like, I'm very excited for the rest of the party to figure this out.
Yeah. This was a $4 Jenga tower. I got it $5 below. Guys, it's really... And then I used markers to decorate it. Guys, you can make props out of anything. I love make thing for
Hell
table.
yeah. Hell yeah.
You make things so good.
I love make thing.
Next up, we've got DMs from Jace. Were there any monsters that you might have added or wanted to add?
There's always room for more.
There's always room for more. I have an entire book of Lovecraftian horrors, and I didn't get to use all of them.
So fun fact, I have that exact same book, but it's in Dutch. And I didn't know it was gonna be in Dutch.
Oh no.
That's not good.
I was so
Wow.
upset. It was when we were starting Void Scourge, and I was like, oh, this will be the perfect book to pull from. It's a D&D like 5e template for, and everything was in metric. So it was just completely unusable for me. Unless I wanted
Ours
to do a
doesn't
lot
have
of work.
like ours doesn't have stat blocks or anything. It just like describes
Yeah, it's just-
monsters.
Just stuff.
Um,
This is one guy I wanted to use, but we used the
Ooh.
serpent instead for
Very
camp.
cool.
Yeah. There was literally just like nights where we would be planning and we would flip through the book and be like, what monster do we want to fuck with today?
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. I've got my two favorites here. Big B presents Glory of the Giants and the expansion book for Ravenloft. And whether it's just reskinning things and just using the stat block or seeing a picture that gives me inspiration and then going from there, I just love perusing the stat block monster manual stuffs.
Oh yeah.
From Mets DMs, what gave you inspiration for the NPCs in the recordings? How did you build their lore for the recordings?
The same thing we do every night. Plant.
Trying to take over the world.
I think it came from like we really did want a way for like the current cabin 6 to be able to communicate with previous cabin 6s, and one of the ways was having this code, but then we were also like, no, we want a little bit something more. We want them to kind of get slices of those moments, like you know, we want them to peep into the void and let the void peep back. Nodster says so much planning, much wow. You'd be surprised. It's only like a paragraph per episode. But we wanted something that like could feel real and like feels like a glimpse into that life or into that moment. So we're like, what's the best way we can do this that would still be able to exist within this camp, that would be accessible and that they could work with? And what we ended up settling on was these tape recorders. Correct me if I'm wrong, James. Was the wasn't it also partially inspired by that pre-shot in which somebody had like a mixtape or something?
So it was inspired by our pre-shot. One of the players was trying to rescue their older sister, and she was a big music buff, and everyone was allowed one personal item at camp, just like in the modern day. And she brought her Walkman and or Walkman cassette player. And so that was kind of the inspiration of, what if, because she didn't bring it back with her. We were like, what if it got left in cabin 6 after she escaped, and cabin 6 just continued to use it over and over and over again, recording their own things over it, because she didn't record like messages on it or anything like that. It was just her music and her Walkman she was protecting. But over time, things get utilized when they're in a cabin.
Okay. Jace says, what inspired the creation of Cabin 6? And is there a sequel in the works?
Ooh, we just finished this one.
Guys, it hasn't even been a full week.
It hasn't been a week.
Give me like 2 more hours and then it's a full fucking week.
We need at least one more 3-hour drive to Orlando to plan another one.
What's the method? What's the inspiration? What's the
So the inspiration, I remember the exact moment that Cabin 6 got inspired. And it was a year ago, sitting in either like the 7th or 8th episode of
Gravity Falls.
Planewalker.
Oh,
No, it was
Planewalker, yeah.
Planewalker. And we were sitting there, and there was a line or something that either Fef or Ben said about having a summer camp in the summer series. And then I immediately, I messaged Beth after that session. I was like, do you want a summer camp summer series? Because I can make that happen.
Absolutely.
And it was at the same time that me and James were rewatching our favorite horrors, Haunting of Hill House and stuff. We were watching Gravity Falls because James hadn't seen it. So
yeah, Kiki showed me Gravity Falls for the first time.
And so we were just kind of what if we do a slasher summer camp? They're like, no, what if we do a fucky Eldritch horror summer camp? And it's like, oh, horror, baby, let's do it. So it's just a culmination of things, but specifically what spiraled was that one comment that we had. I can't remember if it was online or if it was during the breaks or something. But it was literally something as simple as, oh my God, we're going to finally have a summer camp in summer series, or we're so close to having a summer camp for the summer series. And then I messaged Beth after that. I was like,
it was
summer
series. It was something like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'll fucking do it. Trust us and we'll do it.
Yeah. She messaged Beth and then messaged me immediately after being like, summer camp, summer series, thoughts? And I was like, all right, yeah. Freaky horror stuff. Yes.
We all got so excited when we finally sat down to talk cast and who we would reach out to and stuff like that. And everyone obviously that was here, we got so excited. And it was really fast that everyone got back to us. It was same night. I think for the most part it was same night. Everyone was like, hell yeah, and we were like, yeah, really put wind in my sails.
It was actually, we reached out to so many people at once, assuming people would say no. And they all said yes, and we were like, "Oh God, there's 6 players. What do we do?"
Yeah.
And then we decided we'd kill them.
We're like, "Well, there won't be 6 players by the end."
Yeah, this was the most faces we've had on a template, on a tabletop template ever in Longshot.
As for sequels, we'd love to do another summer series. We can say that without hesitation because it's been lovely to be at the Longshot table. We love it here. You've got Kiki full time. I'm gonna get my drips and drabs through Hunt where I can, but you're not getting rid of us that easy.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
So, it might not be Cabin 6, but you can bet we'll bring something else to the table.
Met says, DMs, what kind of character would you play if you were a player for this campaign? I.e., the introvert who is secretly the master detective, a child who is learning to control their anger issues, or something else? I'm also doing my nails while we're doing this.
Hell yeah.
I feel like I kind of was playing a child learning to control their anger issues just because that's Baron. That's just Baron's backstory.
Baron was such an adult, though.
That's because she had to learn how to be an adult. Baron had a lot going on in her childhood. You know what? The fucking campaign's over. I can spill lore. This is fun.
Yeah.
So Baron doesn't talk too much about her childhood, and the most that she would give you if you asked why she was at camp is that she almost killed the kid. She got in a fist fight so bad that kid was in the ICU. And the reason for that is she had a lot of anger issues that were building up after her family got into a car crash. And there were no survivors. She was on her own.
And then she hit Joey with the truck.
And then she hit Joey with the truck. But like it was a lot of spiraling of like it was just an unfortunate accident on an unfortunate day, and happened to lose the lives of her mom, her brother, and her little sister. And so it kind of just spiraled into the blame game. Oh, the nurses weren't fast. The paramedics didn't get there in time. Oh, dad knew those brakes weren't good. Like, how the fuck? Why couldn't he just get the brakes fixed when mom asked? It was raining. Like, why were they driving in the rain? Oh, it's because Lily didn't get up for school in time. If Lily just got up, everything would have been fine. It was this combination of like a spiraling blame game that just resulted into this built-up frustration that she didn't know how to handle, aside from just taking it out on the next person.
Concho, thank you for the resub. What about you, James?
If I had a character to play in this game, I would. It's hard to say because we did say like delinquent kids, so it needs to be kids with a problem. And I think I might have gone for. I love having a stereotype that's very fun to play with. I might have gone for like that weeb kid, like that really like the weeb kid who took it too far, like took a katana to school, sort of weeb kid. Doing the Naruto run through the halls too much, stuff like that. Like just completely detached from the reality and like wanting to play the hero without the responsibility of being responsible and being a hero. So like the ability to grow from that in a series like this is very fun. Much in the same way that like Dior went from like caring about people but not like being responsible for people to being the responsible person pulling Robbie away from the edge. Like that kind of growth would be really fun to play in a character. And it's always fun to like again, to reference my favorite musicals, Star Kid recently did not recently, god, it's a year at this point, Nerdy Prudes Must Die, which was a high school based musical, and there is a character in it who is just a weeb kid in a high school, like running around doing the Naruto run, yelling "Nani" instead of "what," like just yeah, it's just such a vibe. It would be funny. I want to play a character that's got funny that can then turn into like, oh, I need to be serious for a minute.
Nice. Yeah, hell yeah. What kind of, okay, we got that one. Former Frog, DMs, what was world building like while working on a team? I assume that there is less improv with locations and everything. You also mentioned that some monsters were yours, respectively. So I assume some things were separate. And my pizza's here. I'm gonna grab it real quick.
This is a peek behind the curtain for everybody. We do this a lot. We've been DMing together since before we were a couple. And
since 2020, if I remember.
Yeah, since 2020. God.
2020 or 2021. We've been DMing together for about 5 years.
Yeah. And we started with a home game with our friends where Kiki had come up with a concept for a game that she really enjoyed. She was bouncing ideas off of me for it. And I was like, damn, I really would love to be in this game, but I've been helping you develop all the secrets for it, so I would never be able to play it. And then she was like, well, why don't we both try DMing it? And make a co-DM situation. And we tried it and we loved it. So we've been doing it ever since. Not with every game. We both have our own personal games that we DM. We both play in games separately too, although we enjoy when we get to play together because it's very fun. And we don't get to do that very often. We DM together more than we play together these days. Yeah. But I don't know. I love world building with Kiki because Kiki is a brilliant creative person. And we balance each other really well. I tend to be a very logical person, and I ask the what ifs about what is a player going to do if we do this? What is going to happen if we do this? Like, what's the consequence of this action? What could happen that we don't want to happen? How do we mitigate that problem? But Kiki is the person who will bring in like so much vibrancy and life to something. I get really stuck in the details sometimes, and she's much better at the bigger picture. So it's really nice to have someone who can help balance you out, and I hope that I get to do that for her too.
Kind of literally like in the opposite format is I'm very much a big picture kind of person, and like I'm decent at improv as a player, but if I'm the DM and I'm in control of everything, I get lost in my ADHD sometimes in the finer details, and so like I'll be DMing something and I'm like, what are we talking about? Wait a second. And so like we'll get into the finer details. Somebody will like ask me the hierarchy of the government, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. King and then princess and then other people. But James is really good with like details like that, so he handles a lot of like the case by case improv and stuff, and I'll sit there with like the background info and I'll be like, this is the lore, I like lore. And I'll just like hand him little ideas, or I'll check in on background characters while he's DMing. It's very much like how we do in Cabin 6. We'll occasionally just switch off with the narrative. Both of us have that understanding of like where the campaign's going to go and how to get there, and there's almost always occasions in which we'll be in mid-session and we'll like stop and we'll lean over and like whisper to one another. We'll lean over and we'll type notes to one another and be like, hey, are we doing this, like this? It's literally communication is the main thing that we do, but there's plenty of improv still. It's just like within what we have already discussed, and there are things that are like, this is mine, this is yours, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We do that with characters, so like we'll assign NPCs, which is also why they get to interact with each other. So like I'm always going to be Baron, he's always going to be Joey, but like there's other characters that we can flip back and forth. Like sometimes I'll be Brenton, sometimes he'll be Brenton.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's monsters where it's like you get really excited about this thing you created. It's like, can I throw it at them? Can I throw it at them, please? And it's like, yes, you have that power because that is your thing and you know exactly what you want to do with it. I'm A-okay. Have fun with that.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Kiki was always going to get to kill Tabitha because she created the cat creatures and she really loved them. And I was always going to get to pull the kids under the water with Cam because I made Cam. So it was like, those were like creatures we were so excited about. Even when you're doing a group project, there's sometimes paragraphs you want to read aloud. That's just the vibe. Like, I'm happy that I got to do this entire project with you, but if you don't let me read this section, I'll cry about it later. Like,
Yeah.
Nordic says, for the DMs, were the camp's higher-ups engineering the monsters of the week? For Fef, what happens to Jensen? Oh, yeah. So, I don't really understand the question.
I think you answered it with, like, what's the next 5 years look like? What's the next 10 years look like?
Okay.
Yeah.
Bill says, do you think the Grin system format would work in an Invincible-like series? I have thoughts. But I want to hear you guys first.
Okay. James?
I haven't watched Invincible. I don't know a lot about it. But if Invincible, like Fef was explaining to me, is a Superman sort of dealio with like an evil Superman situation.
It's like if The Boys was animated and like actually something you cared about. I don't know.
I think you could absolutely use Grin in like high stakes games. I think that's the best way to use Grin. It was created for like horror games where you are losing people to death constantly. When you play Grin in the traditional way, the way they built it, you get one deck of cards between everybody at the table, which means the more cards you are pulling doing stupid shit, the more likely it is your friend dies when he pulls a card next. So it's a reason, it's a way to create tension for the whole table. The way we rebuilt it, it was to create tension per person and put the responsibility on themselves, especially because we were going to be separated by distance. And it worked out in that way. I think that if you were to do something with heroes and villains, that sort of deal, as long as you were doing a grim dark campaign, if you were doing Christopher Nolan's Batman, then yeah, you could absolutely use it for something like that, but I wouldn't recommend it for like the new Superman, you know? Like, it's not that kind of system.
Personally, for like an Invincible style campaign, I think there are better TTRPGs that would fit, such as the Masks.
Yeah, Masks
setting. Because that is very much made for like superheroes, and you'll have like different abilities and stuff that can benefit you. Whereas Grin is very much role play heavy. Like it is very heavy on the role play. And while there is the element of like you can die at any time, I don't know if that fits into the Invincible as well. I've only seen season 1. But I think that if you're looking for one that's like more of an A to A kind of fit, I think Masks is probably going to be better for Invincible.
My pizza tastes like nail polish remover.
Oh, that might be your hands.
No, did you wash your hands?
I did earlier, but no.
Might have to wash them again to get the nail polish.
It doesn't taste like it
Go ahead,
anymore.
Pepper.
But yeah, I think James touched on what I would say in that it's a superhero show, and Grin is kind of supposed to be down to earth, But to its credit, everybody be dying in the Invincibles constantly. So in that sort of narrative sense, it kind of works, but mechanically, I don't think it's got what it needs to do I think it's built for a different kind of scaling, a different kind of scope. Excuse me, oh my goodness.
Also, we didn't answer earlier, were the camp's higher-ups engineering the monsters of the week? Not on a weekly basis, but they were created by different rituals at camp. So.
Not entirely. There are some monsters they control. There are some that just exist there as consequence of being near the endless. Monsters are just kind of around. So no, the camp engineers were not like engineering monsters of the week. It was more like, we don't care about Cabin 6 if they go missing. So if they happen to run into monsters, they can die. It's fine. We as the DMs absolutely were engineering monsters of the week.
Yeah. Bill says, did I mess things up giving Baron an extra card pull in that last card pull combo in the F-150? Or did it make everything more suspenseful for all involved? The added card was the queen that killed the truck.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
So you needed that thing to come down.
Kiki can attest to this. We have a side chat in the Zoom every week where it's just the two of us talking back and forth. When you guys were trying to escape in the truck and kept pulling good cards, I was like, we need to do something about this. They cannot get out. We need them to go back into the camp. What are we going to do? I started panicking, and then Bill was like, extra card, pulled the queen.
Actual lifesaver.
Thank you.
What about you, Kiki? What was your headspace as we were almost out?
Oh, I was not going to let you escape. We had like stacks on things that could happen if you were going to try to escape. I knew for like a 90% certainty that the second that car came into play and it was someone who you could actually trust to be around, you were going to get in the car and say drive.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, all right, everywhere you turn, there's just going to be cult. Anytime that you try to escape, if you get further than you're expected to, there's going to be monsters. So it was kind of that situation of, you're not going to get out of this actually. But I'll let you think about it for a while. It's like watching your dog try to jump the fence and it's just a little too tall for us. So you just like, I'm gonna let you see if you can get out first.
Yeah, we're very against railroading, but there are certain story beats that have to be hit in a game. And escaping that early, you would have missed out on, Riley,
Right.
You would have missed out on saving the kids, would have missed out on saving the camp.
Exactly.
So we wouldn't have let you escape. But the farther that you got to escape, the more we were keeping in mind how good you guys had been at escaping, which meant we were going to give you certain advantages later on.
Were we good at escaping?
You guys got pretty close. I mean, we still had like stacks on stacks to keep you inside, but you got farther than I expected, which is why I started panicking. I was like, these chuckleheads aren't going to get past, security gate 1, and then you guys slammed through it. And I was like, all right.
And then we went through it.
Kiki had a lot of faith that you guys wouldn't be able to get out because, again, she's the big picture person and she had the big picture in mind. And I was the detail person. I was like, the details, you're running through them.
That's another dynamic that's just very fun as two dungeon masters, is because sometimes, and we're both very aware of this, so this isn't like us shitting on each other, but like James is just like, okay, so they're going to do this and then they have to go that way. And then I'm like, okay, but there's no guarantee that they're going to go that way. Like, what if they go this way instead? We have to prepare for that as well. And it's like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. And then there's times in which I do the same thing and he has to correct me on the opposite end.
Pivoting is the biggest skill you can have in DMing. Not the biggest, but like, it's a very useful thing that will happen to you over the course of journeys, is you will suddenly have to pivot one way or another.
It's a great thing about Dual Masters, because if one of us is too locked in on an idea, the other one has no idea what's going on in their brain for half the time, which means that even they know the broad idea of what that other DM wanted to do, which means when that DM who was running it freezes, they can pull in and be like, gotcha.
Yeah, that's nice.
Like,
that's really nice.
Gotcha, bitch.
To touch base with the chat for a second, sounds a lot like what you do in Insight Check. You're right. It's a very similar method. And Jay says, by the way, where is Insight Check? Just as a quick aside, we're still intending to do Insight Check stuff. It is a matter of, while it is a priority, it's pretty low on the list of priorities, because that's something that's off stream that we upload, and the other things that attain to the campaigns. Obviously, those are kind of the thing that makes Insight Check exist in the first place. So those by nature have to have more priority in getting those things ready. Let's see what else we got. DMs. Was there a moment that the party did something that caused you to pivot or change significant portion of the narrative or direction you had planned out?
I wouldn't say significant.
Okay.
I think a lot of it was just pivoting. Like, if we were going to have you go to one place first and you guys were moving in a different direction, we'd swap what places you were going to or for what reason. When Robbie did not get on the lake, that was probably the one I can think of. Because I built Cam and the like water monster situation to get at Robbie. And Robbie fully did like the most in-character thing, which is not going on the lake. And I went, oh, all right, well, we'll drown other people. That's fine.
And I didn't get in the lake because water beats fire.
Yeah. So it worked out because that was a great reason to bring in the fight on the beach, a great reason to introduce Tyler and not Tyler.
Kyle.
Taylor
Taylor.
and Boone, who then ended up in the trees for starting a fight. So, yeah.
Who was the third person in the tree?
An unnamed camper from earlier in the year, like spring semester.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why they were so much more ingrained in it.
Will you guys ever write a book?
Uh-oh.
Was that an O or a no?
I've thought about writing books myself before, not particularly for like D&D or TTRPG, but just in general, I like writing. I've written stories before. Kiki also has written a lot of stories before. We've done a lot of role play together for like just writing stories out, character based and things like that. When we don't have enough TTRPG in our life, we just play imagination and it's fun.
Hell yeah.
But
you ever just write fanfic for your own OCs? I know that that's not
that's
fanfic,
called fiction.
Like, fuck you. Anyway, I've done that before. I've written fanfic about my D&D characters.
You know, if we had a reason to write a book, I'd do it, but not in the works right now.
Yeah, I would love to eventually make Whistling, which is Terraform and Rotten Toil. I would eventually love to get a template book. Like a world
like a
setting.
book?
Yeah, like a setting book.
Yeah.
And then if it does well, then we can do the other continent where Windfall is. And then if that does well, then we can get Astral with it, and we can do Void Scourge, Thistle and Quill, Bayonet, stuff like that. But this is what I tell people in interviews. Just to I mean, I'm not the DM in this context, but DMing in general is Terraform came out of a book I attempted to write. And if you guys have ever written on a big ass book before, it's really hard. And then I discovered D&D and was like, hey, I am so willing to trade the agency of my protagonists if it means I can it's like I tell people I'm actually just a lazy author. Yeah, and it's kind of it's so much better. And then the pressure of performing, you know, for the players, for the chat, for the viewers, helps me stay structured. Because when it comes to writing, it's really hard. Ultimately, it's like whenever you get a chance, whenever you've scheduled time to sit down and write, that's all self-motivated structure. But the external motivation of people are going to tune in and watch, people really like what you're doing, people love the story you're telling, and the people who have come to play are amazing people and you want them to have fun, that helps me so much. Yeah.
Like your own little like cheerleaders, you know?
A little bit, yeah. Kate says, please explain why cabin 7 was empty and if it was nefarious.
Honestly, I think it just had termites. Like, the thing is, like, cabin 7 was empty, like, just because they. No, okay, I remember now. It was empty because they didn't sell those slots. They were already extremely understaffed, and they couldn't like have another counselor in that cabin. Otherwise, they would be losing. Like, they would be spreading themselves too thin. So they didn't put any availability for that cabin. They just like lowered down what their roster was.
If they had put too many kids in 7, then it would have been Joey and Baron's responsibility to watch those kids as well, which means Joey would have had more split time from Baron, which did not suit their purposes. Their purpose was to keep them together as often as possible so he could build the relationship that would allow him to bring her into the fold for the ritual.
Nice. Bill says, you got many of the best creatures and phobia from the players themselves that were approved. If you were players in your own game, what would your horrors be?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one. So like the thing is, with the horrors that were approved, like we have people's phobias that like they let us play with and stuff, and I'm one of those bitches that puts basically green fucking everything on my consent sheets. There's like one or two things that I'm like, please do not touch this whatsoever. But other than that, like it can be extremely fucked up, and I'm like, yes, do it. I don't really think that I have too much like phobia wise that like I necessarily feel comfortable with it being played with, because full transparency, my only phobia is dissections. And if that starts to be described in detail, I will just shut down. So it's not really something that's fun to play with, but like you could just like rip apart a body in front of me. Gore and body horror doesn't bother me. It's just the specific like methodical process of like an autopsy fucks me up. It fucks me up in a way I cannot understand.
You get why that's funny though, right?
Why?
Yes, she does.
Because you're dating a mortician.
Yeah, I know. He
There are
doesn't
certain
explain that part.
conversations I don't have with my girlfriend.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. That it makes perfect
He's like,
sense.
he just doesn't describe cutting open bodies to me, and I'm like, that's
And
cool.
I don't, yeah.
But honestly, like, I'm so I love when DMs throw like the hardball at me, or it's like, hey, save this person you currently care about and this person that you used to care about. Here's a really tough situation. Go ahead and have that, or just like putting something that's just so awfully and like terribly traumatic. I turn into Kate, honestly, which is like, here's this really terrible traumatic thing for a normal person. I'm just sitting here like.
The reason I think we're so good at horror is we enjoy being scared. My favorite event of the year is Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Orlando. I will be there the entire month. If you can find me, I'll give you a bracelet. But like there's not a lot of things like Kiki on my consent sheet that I put anything down for. I don't have any reds on any of my consent sheets. I actually only have like one yellow, and that's eating disorders, and that's just that's vibes. That's me. And it wouldn't make a very good horror to use ED as a horror, in my opinion. So it's like, it doesn't really come up very often. But I do have favorite types of horrors. And if you're thinking from like a Magnus Archives perspective, like the types of like entities that there are, something like the Desolation or something like the Flesh would probably end up being like my favorite kinds of horrors. Like body horror is very big for me. I enjoy it because I know so much about the human body that the more accurate it is, the more I would be freaked out, and that would be fun. You know?
Okay.
Like if somebody else with a lot of knowledge about human anatomy gave me a horror that was based in human anatomy and got it all right, I'd be like, ooh, I like that. It's scary and I like it.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Kind of like the same thing. I love fucked up monsters, to be honest. Like, not just in a way like a monster fucker way, but like if you put like a creature that definitely should not exist and like defies all laws of physics and just like animal behavior and stuff in front of me, and I just go, ugh, no, I'm loving that on the inside. I absolutely adore whatever the fuck that funky creature is. Like for Bayonet, I sit there and I watch the chat and I see the visual aids that like you drop in for some of the monsters. I'm like, the fuck is that fucking thing? Can I pet it? Like I love things that make me go, what the fuck? What the fuck is that fucking thing? I'm gonna check its vibe.
I'm gonna check his vibe. Bad. Jay says, DMs, were there any different angles that you might have wanted to go in? Also, was there anything that you wanted to do that just didn't happen due to constraints? I know you guys wanted to see the admin room at one point.
Yeah, that was probably the most major thing that we didn't get to do that we wanted to.
What was the plan?
Yeah.
What was going on in admin?
We went over it a little bit.
A lot of evidence.
But,
Okay.
yeah. I know you stepped away, but it was a lot of evidence.
Oh.
Potentially it would have been a way to get Riley's last name before like knowing about it. It was a possibility. Depending on where in the story we end up with it. We wouldn't have done it if you guys went to the admin cabin like episode 3, you know? But if you had been there like episode 7, we might have been like O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, It was just a lot of clues. You guys took the horror route more than the clue route, which isn't a bad thing. It just ended up being a more visceral situation for you guys, feeling it out by emotion and situation rather than by like clue.
Also, our players were very good about like taking a hint on like what we kind of wanted them to do and just like running with it. Like it would always be at least like one player would tune in to what we were trying to say and then just be like, okay, I'm gonna follow this thread. Hey guys, look at this thread. Let's go.
Nodster says, question for the Dual Masters. How is getting to work together, especially versus DMing solo? Or how is getting to work together specifically versus DMing solo? It must be so much fun to have someone to bounce ideas off of that has the idea for the source material, which I think we also kind of covered a little bit. But like, what was a good example?
Honestly, dual mastering is like my preferred method of DMing.
Because every DM experiences this. If you're not a DM, you probably understand the vibe of like wanting to yap about your player, but don't want the other players to know the secrets. But also like your best friend who's not into D&D whatsoever doesn't understand shit about what you're saying. So having somebody that knows everything and just getting to go back and forth and bounce those ideas is very, very cool.
I can see that.
It's great to also then be the person receiving that information and being able to yap back about something you were thinking about. So it's like this endless loop of like, I gave you content. You're giving me content, but I'm giving you content. But I'm getting content.
I don't know if I could do it. I don't
It's
know
not
if
for everyone.
It's not for everyone for sure. And I'm really happy that it works for you guys. But I feel like my method of DMing is so amorphous. Like it's so vague that I don't think I would be able to properly do the other DM justice with communication beforehand, because there's a lot of improv and there's a lot of stuff that I have in my head and written down and stuff like that as well, especially with cast and NPC lists and locations and stuff like that. But a lot of the ideas I keep just in the pot. I just keep those rumbling, and then I'm not sure if I'll, let's take Thistle and Quill for example. I did not plan on having the Iron League be front and center episode 1. I didn't plan on having the kid appearing in episode 1, but it felt right. It felt right in the moment, and I do so much in the moment decisions that I feel like anyone along the ride for me would just be so confused and just having to keep up and trying to figure out how my brain works alongside. I don't know if it would work.
That's fair. Like we said, it's not meant for everyone. James, you had something you wanted to say?
I was just agreeing. I do think that it does take a specific like duo to be able to dual master. I think that you have to have like trust in each other. You have to like Kiki and I played at a D&D table together for 2 years before we started dual mastering.
It's about 2018, yeah.
Yeah. So we had about 2 years at the table together with our characters slowly. Like we realized very quickly at the table, we were two people who really loved to role play. We really loved to do certain things with our characters. And we didn't want to like drag down the rest of the table by doing those things out in the open. So we would take our characters back home and role play stuff back and forth on Discord and, advance the story. And that got to us talking about what our campaigns are like. It got to us telling each other about what one shots we were planning on doing and then going back and forth. And it really built up to a place where we were like able to do that first dual DMing thing.
Okay, yeah, hell yeah. That makes good sense.
Or like an example of like this, just the going back and forth kind of thing is like randomly at like 2 a.m. once, I messaged James. I went, snake church? There's snake churches? And he went, yes, they're really interesting. I don't like what they do to the snakes, but it's really interesting. I'm like, snake church. And then he goes, snake church for cultists with terrifying eldritch born creature. And I go, perhaps a snake cult ritual. And it just kind of spirals from there. And that's where we get like the snake going into the ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A snake troll, if you will. But yeah.
It's literally just like popping in and being like, this. Okay, what of it? What if? And it's like, yes. Okay.
It's just this reciprocating answer, blow. I like that Kiki comes to me with a vague thing and I get to info dump about all the information I know about that thing, and then she gets to use that to be like, and this, and this, and we go, yeah.
That is almost exactly how I work with Jared. Just work getting in a call with him and bouncing stuff out. Oh, he lives across the hall, so I just go bug him. But I think another thing for me is that I change plans on a dime. I change things up on a dime. Okay, yeah.
That's why we have that secret side chat. It's just us messaging each other back and forth, being like, is this okay? I want to do this. Yes? No? And it's just a lot of thumbs up, thumbs down.
We have plans that, like, the important thing about us being dual masters is that we know the start and we know the end. What happens in between is just kind of confetti. So as long as we get to the end by that point, and I can move the end point wherever because we have that power as DMs. But the journey is like the most important part. Like, you want that hero story kind of vibe. So we will throw out ideas and it's like, yes, this is really cool. And then the story just kind of doesn't go into that direction. Take me to Snurch. It just kind of doesn't go into that direction, like narratively. And we don't want to like then force this idea that we had into it. So then we pivot and we change it around and it becomes something else. For example, I found another fucking screenshot of what we said randomly during session. I don't know which session this was. This was early on. It went Hydra Tabitha. Give her 3 heads since she gave 1. I think it'd be funny. And then like gave a list of NPCs after that. And it was like, oh yes, we should do that. And then we never did it again.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
like, this doesn't feel right, so let's just not. But yeah,
Bill
so, like,
says, oh, go ahead.
just have a fun time.
Yeah. For the Dual Masters, what about this horror campaign made you decide to go, hey, let's have a wedding one-shot?
I think you all needed a break.
We did.
We had been putting you guys through such horrors, and we knew that we were going to have at least 2 players who would be able to play, and the audience had been watching a lot of horror, and we said, what's more nice than a wedding?
What if we just have a fun continuation? Believe it or not, we do not only DM horror. For the most part, we DM high fantasy.
Yeah.
We DM one of our main home games is this modernized like college fantasy game. So it's just the Faerun world that Wizard of the Coast has set up, and then we brought it into the modern era, and it's like, oh well, magic is kind of like drawn back because technology has come in, but some people have magic, but you need a license for it now. There's a whole lot of shit going on that I'm not going to get into in case my players watch this, but we really like fantasy. It is just like kind of kooky and fun, but it has its serious moments. Horror is not our main genre. We just realized that we're pretty good at like dealing it. So
oh man.
that's what you get from being traumatized.
Any other comments? Any other things we want to talk about tonight? Any other shenanigans? Dice, thank you again for the resub. That's 30 months with Prime. God damn.
I can't believe you all asked so many questions.
Yeah, this was great, gang. This was
That was
so
wild.
good. I hope you guys are having fun with it.
I'm gonna look at Kate's questions real quick
And make sure we got all Kate's questions, yeah.
Explain, dear kid, I don't think we ever actually confirmed the end list. We got that one. Joey is not his dad. Who took over
Yeah.
Sammy's body? Sammy died.
He died.
You weren't there. You weren't at the thing when we discussed it. But Sammy is dead. She died before the ritual could be completed.
Yeah, Sammy died in the botched ritual, and we didn't argue about it. What we were thinking at one point, was it like a desperate attempt by the kids to just kill her so she couldn't be utilized in the ritual? And then you guys did the whole thing in the last episode where you almost killed the Baron just to make sure she couldn't be utilized in a ritual. And we were like,
Yeah.
history is repeating.
Yeah.
History.
Kate floated it, and Jensen obviously would have been like, "Oh my god, no," but Fef was like, "Wait a minute, hold up, what would that? That might save her ass. Wait a minute," and then it didn't pan out. Good lord,
We
setting
went
things
over-
on fire was so much fun. It was so much fun to just be like, nope, this is what I get to kind of lean into this and make a whole arc out of it.
We'll let you get away with so much Axe body spray.
Yeah, right. I feel like we used a can's worth. I don't
Yeah.
feel like
We
got.
didn't
past
go
that.
too far,
Yeah.
but it was at the end.
Yeah. No,
It
at
was
the end,
enough.
I was just spraying and praying.
So funny.
Everyone in chat is asking if you can do this at the end of every season now.
Yeah, I'm game. It's a great idea, honestly. And tomorrow, the three of us are gonna be playing some Hunt Showdown.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
We went over
On stream.
Mackenzie. We went over why Riley turned into Mothman.
Yep.
Why the fuck were they putting the keys in the trees? We went over that.
Ooh, who was the favorite NPC?
We said our favorites earlier,
okay.
like
Our favorites
as
to
DMs to play, but favorite NPC in general.
It might have been James's Crystal. I think the
Miss
name was.
Crystal.
Whichever
Miss
one,
Crystal
whichever
is
one
such a
like
gem.
wouldn't walk into the house.
Miss Crystal.
Yeah, Miss Crystal was
Not a
was
vampire,
amazing.
just weird.
Miss Crystal was
She's
pretty great.
respecting boundaries.
Yeah. I thought that was great.
I did like Miss Crystal, and I did like Kyle because he was just an NPC that existed in the ether.
I thought the third person on the tree was Kyle.
It was supposed to be, and then it wasn't.
Everyone did, which was funny because in an alternate universe it is. Well, we kept Kyle open in case Kate died.
Jace, there is another campaign that happens on Tuesdays, but just not this week. So we're stealing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terraform is not this Tuesday.
Terraform picks up on the 19th.
Was that dumbass nurse in on it? The night nurse was called, yes.
Yes.
She was part of the cult.
Marjorie.
Bastard.
I think that's about it for all of the questions.
Yep. Nordic just asked one more for Feb.
Oh, there we go.
No, I wouldn't go through the portal. Nordic says, okay, Pfeffers, if you could choose, if a portal were to open up in the Cabin 6 world, would you want to go through it?
No, who would you want to go through it?
No one. It's a bad place.
I've got an answer. Portal opens. Joey walks through it into bayonet and gets shot in the head.
It'd be so funny.
I see.
I think it would be great, actually. Yeah.
Which campaign would they step into?
Uh-huh,
Fuck. Probably. I would if I could send everybody to Thistle and Quill. It's the most peaceful of the campaigns. It's definitely for now.
It's
the
Send
most-
Joey to Thistle and Quill. I want to eat him.
Steak. It's what's for dinner.
Let me eat that
It's hot and it's ready.
Nom, 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 nom.
It's Cabin 6 portal opens and I walk through it into Thistle and Quill so I can flirt with the rabbit because it's funny.
He's a hot rabbit. That's a conventionally attractive rabbit.
Surprisingly hot rabbit.
Okay,
Very
sorry.
hot
I'll
rabbit.
flirt with the chicken because it's funny.
That's also an attractive chicken. Everyone's
It
attractive.
not
in this
being
fucking
funny
game.
shouldn't be the thing that deters you.
Oh. All right. Bill says they put another question in the Discord. Let me
I got it.
Double check.
I don't got it.
Oh, Kiki, do we have any plans to run any one-shots in this setting for start playing?
If people want that, yeah,
I
we
think it's
might.
fair
sure.
to say people want that.
All right, listen, if people want that, we do have we're cooking a little bit in the works, a start playing game currently. We do have to wait to get approval to GM on start playing, but we should be okay.
Nice.
So we do have a campaign that's cooking in the works. It should be available after we come back from Australia, so probably in like late October to November. We'll start putting out the stuff for that. If you want to stay tuned, be sure to follow us on Instagram on DualMastersGuide, and make sure to follow myself and James on all platforms because we will be announcing it.
Do it.
I'll also be announcing it in my Discord and probably put it in the self-promo here as well. But
The campaign we're cooking is more high fantasy.
Yeah, do we want to give them like a little
we
like
could.
kind of a little sneak peek at the campaign that we're thinking of running?
If you guys would like our inspirations for this campaign, in no particular order, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Oh.
Kiki, another one.
Studio Ghibli.
Interesting.
Solar Punk.
Ooh, I love Solar Punk.
And Alice in Wonderland, I believe, is the last one.
Alice in Wonderland.
And just a little bit of Fever Dream.
With the aesthetics of Avatar. by James Cameron.
Oh. I went to
Yeah.
the last Airbender.
No.
Yeah. So we have quite an interesting thing here, and that campaign will be in D&D 5e. So
They had to change the name in the UK for Avatar: The Last Airbender because
Yeah.
Bender was like
Yeah.
it's like
some heavier.
a slur for trans people, I think.
Oh, that's not what I heard at all. I'm so sorry for bringing it up. That's not what
Listen,
I heard
in America,
at all.
we don't see it that way. Like, it's the same way that they still say like the alternate term for a cigarette, because to them in European that's just a cigarette.
I thought
But
they just
here
had
it is slur.
a more severe connotation against a person going off on a bender, like we say in America, like a person who just goes bar to bar and drinks until they fucking die in a hole.
From what I remember, listen, I could be wrong. It's either a like queer community slur or it's the alcohol slur.
Well, there we go. We all learned something today.
Either way, everyone learned something today.
Shit.
Will that campaign be on Twitch or another platform? So the campaign that we just described with the inspirations will be on StartPlay. So that means that seats will be open to the people.
Mhm.
Yeah, it won't be a streamed game. It'll just be a fun game that you can choose to be in.
You also can stream it if you want to. I know a couple of people that stream
could.
their start playings.
We'll see. It'll be our first
I
start
don't know
play,
if
so
that
yeah.
would be comfortable for everyone. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm like chill with keeping that as just like between us.
Hmm.
But yeah, final question from the DMs from Bill. What was the time lost in the unnatural healing when they woke up in the cabin? That was the closest I got to being eaten out.
Whoa.
That was Dear Child.
Yeah. That's Dear Child gifting back to Cabin 6. They're fighting the horrors of the camp, so it's trying to protect them.
That Dear Child had always been a protective spirit, and so what happened after their friend got murdered, like a kid got murdered on that thing's watch, and so the last thing that they heard was soft pan flute music as it lulled them to sleep and took care of the threat, and just gently put them back to sleep in their beds.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yep.
The pan flute was its vibe.
There's pan flute music every time that the Dear Child appears.
And that's why every time something healed, it healed to scar, so it wasn't like healing perfectly. It was like just advancing the time so that it would you had the chance to get back up. And that's why when things went wrong that were based in like the Endless's magic, so to speak, like when the Dear Child was attempting to heal Robbie from the magic of the Endless, it became like that pattern of tree roots and things like that, because it's trying to fight against something that it can't heal that easily.
It's using what it knows, and what it knows is kind of part of this warped magic. So it's not perfect. Oh my god! Sorry, I just remembered. I never shared the inspo for where Dear Child came from.
Let's hear it.
We did share some of it. We shared some of it. It is like folklore based. Some people have made it akin to a we're not going to say that name because it's forbidden.
Yeah, that wasn't our inspiration for it.
It was not our inspiration, but like, you take some elements from it. But a lot of the inspiration came from things like Centaur World, aka the Nowhere King, the fucking bear from
Annihilation.
Annihilation, which if you've never seen Annihilation, that's an Eldritch horror movie. It has this like fucking weird zombie bear where like it turns to the side and there's a human skull merged into the bear skull.
This is why
and so I was like, I want some of that.
This is why you guys like Hunt Showdown for sure.
I listen, I don't like scary things very often, but I like dishing it, I guess.
Same.
So that's part of it, and then just like what's the other one? Over the Garden Wall is another like kind of inspo. A lot of these like deer-like spirit creatures that are also protective entities and or threats. We were like, give it the aesthetic of a threat and give it the protection of give it the personality of a protector.
And there was one last inspo, for me personally, for Dear Child, which is there's a YouTuber called Red Diamond who does Eldritch horror spooky videos. And in one series of videos that they do in the Oakburn Opus, if you like that kind of like scrolling through Reddit, find a weird video, it details an entire Eldritch world in one video. It's crazy.
Cool.
That there was a creature in that kind of inspired, but that's about it.
Fuck yeah.
That's about it, yeah.
All right, gang. Well, this was fun. Thank you for everybody who piled in. We had really good numbers tonight, and then it goes to show that we can do some stuff like this more often. This is amazing. Stick around. We will be doing a raid, but do tune in tomorrow for the 3 of us playing Hunt Showdown together. It's brutal. It's very fun. And we won't have Audric to carry us, so I'm sure we're gonna eat a lot of swamp. Yeah, I'm Sir Pfeffers, the Humble Dungeon Master at a Longshot table. We have 4 weekly streamed campaigns. Oh, my brain. Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Tuesdays. Yeah, check out the YouTube.
Check out the Patreon.
Yeah, check out all
the Discord.
and join our community as well on the Discord.
They're as chaotic as they are wholesome.
I said that line to my landlady when she came through and Jared cackled. Oh man, but we're gonna pile into a raid for now. Let me talk to James. James, talk to the chat for me. Tell them about your stuffs.
It's me, James. Hi, I'm Hugger Mugger. You can't find me at the Longshot table currently, but you can you can catch me later on at some point. Pfeff and I will be in a little campaign together. That's about all the hints you're gonna get there.
Yeah, we can't talk about that yet.
We can't talk about it yet. So that's about it. And then folks, if you want to see me more soon, I almost said recently. It's not past. It's soon coming. On August 28th on Maddaloon's channel. That's Maddaloon. Maddie is allowing me to be the facilitator for a Regency era TTRPG game where we will be building our own Jane Austen style novel together. I've got a really great stacked cast with Maddie, Gothic Fairy, who you saw as Tabitha here at the table, my friend the Ray Wilds, who was in the After Crisis DC game with me, as well as Abigail the Nerd of many different tables fame. You can check us out starting on the 28th and every Thursday after that for 4 episodes. That'll be fun.
Kiki.
Hi, I'm Kiki, also known as Kiki Does Stuff all over the internet. You can find me at Kiki Do Stuff right here on Twitch, where I actively do things. You can find me this Thursday over on Maddaloon's channel. That's 2 D's and 2 O's, where I will be playing a character in a PvP that's inspired by Game Changer, and it's all for charity. So we are helping some children while we fight each other to the death, and also try to obey a whole bunch of silly little rules. Aside from that, you can also find me Sundays right here on Thistle and Quill playing your favorite little feral cat that wants to eat everyone.
You really do want to eat everyone. You really do.
Listen, they're yummy. I can't help it. Aside from that, if you want more Dual Masters Guide content and you don't want to fucking wait, you can go over to my YouTube, Kiki Does Stuff, and you can watch all of Project Rebirth, which is an anthology series that we did for charity last summer. And that was to assist in funds for the Palestinian Children's Relief. I can't remember the exact acronym, PCRF, I believe. Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. But yeah, it's a space anthology. There's a little bit of horror, not as much as Cabin 6, but we do still have our content warnings. So the cast changes every episode. You're gonna see Faye. You're gonna see Pfeff. You're going to see quite a few of the faces that you saw here in that campaign, so you can go ahead and check it out on the YouTube. It's only like 5 episodes, I think. But yeah, so that's all from me. I'll see y'all later at some point.
All right, everybody pile into this raid. We're going to kick it with Alt Haven Draconics. Our bayonet player is currently playing some RPGs over there. Have a phenomenal rest of your evening. I'll see you tomorrow, and then I'll see you on Thursday for Rotten Toil.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.